Electric.
Major
this hello paradise? I can't decide. Show me the light, show me a sign. Said I hate to see you go, but you're always back for more. Said I hate when things move slow. You're oh so far, yet so close. You got me off the ground, and I was earthbound. When my mirror was invisible, 'cause I was waiting for a miracle. Hey, you got me off the ground when I was earthbound. Hey, safe in your wildfire, in your flames, in your barbed wire. You're wild, like a fire. I feel safe in your wildfire, in your flames, in your barbed wire. You got me off the ground, and I was earthbound. When my mirror was invisible, 'cause I was waiting for a miracle. You got me lost for words, and it might sound absurd. You're like dope and adrenaline. It's like both well and genuine. Hey, you got me off the ground when I was earthbound. Hey, 'cause I was waiting for a miracle. You're wild, like a fire. I feel safe in your wildfire, in your flames, in your barbed wire. You're wild, like a fire. I feel safe in your wildfire, in your flames, in your barbed wire.
反射一星右清卡萨，能够灌死吗？
不够。
但后面瞬间爆了一个雷霆万钧，瞬间拿下了 double， 这是一个3连杀。但后面是换掉了一个卡萨，但紧接着鳄鱼是再把人头给拿回，剩下一个 MN 力挽狂澜，两边 AD 的拼枪，就顺拿下了跨抓 Q。这个乌迪尔等一下就真的只是一块肉而已啊，他秘密只要一开大，他还是会有大的威胁。
演得很像啊，16
回去开人被抓到阿字塔下塔前被史矛德给击杀掉了，
一惊哎，他演得很好哎，
真的引力耶。
然后还假装按个铝扣，
他让你以为这只是假的
，surprise
bait
有了哦，
阿字直接被骗。因为他本身还是需要一个扛伤害的角色哦。
第3条龙
来喽，闪现开，贝利有被抓到，但是闪现最后还没按出来，是滑走的，但伤害不足。那这样16没闪没大了，侧边要直接滑过来，保着风打，
围着他，
好，史矛德位置被看到了，
大家都围在一起啊！
完美的团战，风被秒杀了，
完蛋了！
这边被杰利给全部刷光 ，Betty 没有人碰得到他 ，Betty triple kill。
海浪来袭，一波勾加翻，右边的无底先被逼出大绝，但他可以反手海浪，这么子勾到墙的。被打直接被 Q 闪的俊家给留住，这下一拳就会起炸弹 ，Forest 过来救，火不练习俊家还是想要冲到对面龙的面前，但龙拿下人头，另外一边阿志冲到了后排，他5点的能力一个扛3个，超级5点会被死，他还在去扁人，有没有受不了 ？Amy 终于闪现直接救急史诗级了 ，Amy 好想去 ，OK 啊，好像还在滑，鳄鱼疯狂斩杀，你们的炸弹哥 Amy 回来了，
哎呦，有现场观众。
乌迪被抓到 ，Amy 正面开砍，直接变大 Q3斩杀，直接秒掉了乌迪，
威的大，
尼克进来做4个，悲狂想救世界，后面变身开始，阿志冲到龙牌开始收割 ，PS
被抢走
，PSG 想要操作，
正面蹲到啦，是俊家找到机会蹲到，然后出钩，然后这里还在打伤害，但厄萨斯这里现在才开大，然后重点是尼克进来做了4个人嘛
，Maple 在这里做到了绝地救援。
多大4个美如画，然后最后斩杀，那变成2杀10之后伤害就够了。
但阿志伤害超高，又是给到了一发鱼叉。现在 CFO 想要拉神发的自动图法，但阿志坚决保利，热射上到，而且还是攻这一波，先把对方推回来，热射大爆。
It feels real, but you could be pretending. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. Is this love? Is this love? When's it gonna end? Are we forever or just young offenders? Waiting for the rules to bend. Is this love? Is this love? Tiny bits of fears go blow away. Oh, tiny bits of fears go blow away. Oh, but you know, when's it gonna start? When's it gonna? When's it gonna? When's it gonna stop? Is this love? Is this love? When's it gonna stop? When's it gonna? When's Is this love? Is this love? It's 2 a.m. and you're knocking on my door. I won't answer, you're screaming out some more. This isn't love, it's a need to be in control. You always play the victim, whatever. Careful where you walk, 'cause my heart's like a flame. has nowhere to hide. The wolf is at your door. Can you hear him roar? Maybe I'm the monster. This night will forever remain in your memory card in your veins. Your mind could be your greatest enemy. Awake now, get wild, run. Awake now, be loud, run. Awake now, get wild, run. Awake now, be loud. Power, weakest, thought, money, driven.
反正一星右清卡萨，能够灌死吗？
不够。
但后面瞬间爆了一个雷霆万钧，瞬间拿下了 double， 这是一个3连杀。但后面是换掉了一个卡萨，但紧接着鳄鱼是再把人头给拿回，剩下一个 MN 力挽狂澜，两边 AD 的拼枪，就顺拿下了跨抓 Q。这个乌迪尔等一下就真的只是一块肉而已啊，他立命只要一开大，他还是会很大的威胁。
演的很像啊，
回去开人被抓到阿字塔下塔前被史矛德给击杀掉了。
一金哎，他演的很好哎，
真的引力耶。
然后还假装按个铝扣，
他让你以为这只是假的。
Surprise，
Fate
有了吼，
阿字直接被骗。因为他本身还是需要一个扛伤害的角色哦。
第3条龙
来喽，闪现开，菲利有被抓到，但是闪现最后还没按出来，是滑走的，但伤害不足，那这样16没闪没大了，侧边要直接滑过来，保着风打，
围着他，
史矛德就会这么看到了，
大家都围在一起啊！
完美的团战风被秒杀了，
完蛋了！
这边被杰利给全部刷光 ，Betty 没有人碰得到他 ，Betty triple kill。
海浪来袭，一波勾加翻，右边的无底先被逼出大绝，但他可以反手海浪，这么子勾到墙的 被打直接被 Q 闪的俊佳给留住，这下一拳就会起炸弹。风雨的过来救，果不其然，俊佳还是想要冲到对面龙的面前，但龙拿下人头。另外一边阿志冲到了后排，他5点的能力一个扛3个，超级5点会被死，他还在这边扁人，有没有受不了 ？AB 终于闪现直接救急史诗巨人 ，AB 到下去不可以啊，放回来，还在滑，鳄鱼疯狂斩杀，你们的炸弹哥 AB 回来了，
哎呦，有现场观众、哦。
乌迪被抓到 ，AB 正面开砍，直接变大 Q3斩杀，直接秒掉了乌迪。
威的大，
尼克进来做4个，飞快想救世界，后面变身开始，阿志冲到龙牌开始收割 ，PS
被抢走
，PSG 想要操作，
正面哦蹲到啦，是俊佳找到机会蹲到，然后出钩，然后这里还在打伤害，但哦2萨斯这里现在才开大，然后重点是尼可进来做了4个人嘛
，Maple 在这里做到了绝地救援。
我打4个美如画，然后最后斩杀，那变成2萨斯之后伤害就够了。
但阿志伤害超高，又是给到了一发鱼叉。现在 CFO 想要拉神发的自动图法，阿志进球倒地，所以热射上到，而且后期攻这一波，先把对方退回来，对热射大爆。
Said I hate to see you go, but you're always back for more. Said I hate when things move slow, oh so far yet so close. Oh so far yet so close. Oh so far but so close. This is hello paradise. I can't decide. Show me the light, show me a sign. Said I hate to see you go, but you're always back for more. Said I hate when things move slow, oh so far yet so close. Oh, Lordy, oh, my.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back here to the PCS Spring Playoffs. And the most hotly and highly awaited Best of 5 is awaiting us tonight. Of course, it will once again be brought to you by Riot Games, Carry International, and the Grand Halai Taipei, which connects the Nangang Exhibition Centre, the Software Park, and of course the CTBC Financial Centre. Fantastic experience for all of its customers, and with 425 rooms, 6 restaurants, and a banquet hall, it sure does have all the things you would ever want out of a hotel. So once again, big thank you to them. I'm, of course, your host tonight, Vestian, and alongside me, it is my partner, Lo.
Yeah, and we've got possibly a finals preview on tonight, right? But all 5 games, we're expecting it to go to 5. These teams have just been so close for such a long time. CFO upgrading their roster. They have historically been slightly losing to PSG. Just like, I think they're down. We tallied up the games last time they had played, and I think they were behind about 2 games.
Yeah, it wasn't very far.
Not series, just 2 games between these 2 teams. And they've gone 1-for-1 in terms of series so far this split. And yeah, this is looking like a banger. Both teams definitely on form.
Oh, absolutely. And you do expect them, of course, now in the, finals sort of preview. And it is really the heated part of the bracket. You see it there on your screen. 4 teams now are all that remains, and tonight we get possibly our favourites to be in that grand final, competing for our MSI spot as well as the right to call themselves the Spring Champion.
Yeah,
it has historically been PSG dominating the Spring ever since they came into the PCS and the PCS's inception. This has been their split just continuously, and I think both of us are expecting it to, go to the 5 games. Who's going to win it? I'm not too sure, but we'll go for the predictions nice and early on in this one.
Okay.
I'm going PSG 3-2. Yourself?
Let me say CFO. 3-2. It's hard to bet against PSG, especially with what you said about Spring. I think the statistic was they haven't even missed a Spring final.
Yes. Yeah.
Since the team was created and since we've had Spring finals. They just have always been there. And if they win today, they're already through to the final.
Exactly. The winner, of course, as Lo just touched on, will be through to the final. The loser goes down to the lower bracket to compete in the lower bracket final, up against the winner of Frank versus SoftBank Hawks. And on your screen, it is, of course, CTBC, Flying Oyster, Rest, Kasa, Gory, Shun, Sword Art. Massive names. And I have to say, maybe the standout player is none of those big names that you'd expect. It has traditionally, for this split at least, been Shun. He's been the most consistent. He has been the guy to really get them through a lot of these team fights, just picking up kills, triple kills, quadra kills, pentakills even on the Varus. Looking really good on the Twisted Fate 80 carry, looking really good on the Lucian. He has been their standout player. Of course, you can't really talk about them without mentioning the likes of Kasa, Sword Art, and Gory. Rest as well, solid as always up in that top lane. It is going to be, of course, CFO with side selection in game number 1, being that they were the highest seed, and with that, to nobody's surprise, they are going to select the blue side, which for our money has been the most dominant side here in the playoffs. DCG being really the only team not to opt into their blue side when given the choice, and it is more of a play style for them than anything else. But here, we expect Ari to be the most contested pick in this series. Things to look out for perhaps is RJ on your screen now. His Udyr. Running through PSG Talon very quickly, of course. RJ, Junji, and Maple, Betty, Woody. And Shun being the standout player for CFO for the most part. I think on this team, it's between Woody and RJ. I think RJ has been so solid in the top lane, often being really the only top laner alongside maybe Jiang that is actually picking up solo carries coming out of the top lane.
And it also just feels like RJ has never lost them the game. He has never just been gapped in the top lane and made the game difficult for his team. Often just the opposite. The games where he doesn't solo carry, he's still just having so much impact out of the top lane. Speaking of the top lane, I think the Rek'Sai might be a big deal for this series and going forwards. Have any of these players picked up the Rek'Sai top lane? Because we saw Evie play it. He got it 1 game yesterday.
And it was banned.
And then he never got to play it again because it just destroyed DCG.
And the Flash Wolves Civil War, once again it will be, of course, 1-1 now in the head-to-head. It is, the head-to-head matches are actually in favor of CFO. They picked up a 2-0 the first time these 2 teams went up against each other. PSG in the second series picked up a 2-1 win. And I think importantly, that 2-1 win came at the back of, I think, an 8-win streak. Series win streak that is coming through from CFO. PSG really the only team that looks to be contending with them as things currently stand, and it makes a lot of sense as they are now in our upper bracket finals. It is a big deal to win this game and get through to the grand finals, because the lower bracket seed will have to play again in that lower bracket. They'll also not have side selection in the grand final. And I think the most important part as well is that the lower bracket finals played the day before the grand final. So the team that loses here will have to play back-to-back series. And then, you know, back-to-back, the other team gets to rest. They get to watch what you're doing in that series. If you're getting pushed to the limit, which a team like SoftBank Hawks, we've seen them be able to do up against PSG, a lot is going to be discovered about you. Of course, this is their last series they went up against each other. It was honestly game number 1, domination from Maple, picking out that Aurelion Sol to counter the Azir. Azir won't be seen, of course, in this series. It is still banned here in the PCS, but I mean, solid all-round. Smolder, definitely a pick to watch out for PSG specifically. Doesn't really seem like a CFO champion as things stand. I'm sure they can play it. And maybe, you know, maybe something to be surprised if Shun does pick that up.
Yeah, I mean, they love to play around Shun. In that game 2, which they won against PSG on your screen, they essentially just had double enchanters for Shun with Karma and Milio, and they're willing to just let Shun solo carry games. They've even picked up the Ivern jungle in previous series. And maybe the Smolder just doesn't have enough impact for Shun. He likes the Twisted Fate. I think he's the only ADC who's actually played the Twisted Fate in our league.
Yeah, and it seems like the AD Twisted Fate's kind of falling out of flavor, but the top lane Twisted Fate certainly hasn't. And a lot of those are still getting played. Eevee and Jiang, I believe, both picking it up. It was also Taco playing a game of it up against SoftBank, so we're definitely seeing the Twisted Fate still in the top lane. RJ also a player that likes to play it. Not sure about Rest. I don't believe we've seen him play it yet. Head-to-head, though, from the entirety that these two teams have been in the PCS, it is 5 games in favor of PSG. 3 matches to 2, so they are up 1 best-of series. Kasa, the jungle radar, and he really has been. I think that's a really apt way to call it. Even when he's got a bunch of losing lanes, he has been the best jungler at navigating the difficult spots his team always or often finds themselves in. CFO also the team to bring back the first pick Sejuani, so something again to watch out for. But I personally think, and we were talking about this before the broadcast, I think Ahri is probably going to be the pick to watch out for. Ahri seems like the most dominant mid laner currently that we don't have Azir. It does seem like Ahri is kind of just running around doing whatever she wants, and it hasn't really been answered that well.
No.
Sometimes it is, but it often feels like it's not answered because of the Ahri. It might just be the better player up against the Ahri is still able to find a lot of value in the likes of Talia, Maple as well. He can play the Nico.
I think CFO's mid laner Gory actually played Sylas into it, and that looked pretty good. Once they got out of the laning phase, Gory was actually able to solo kill the Ahri in the side lane. So that might be a pick you have to watch out for if you're PSG, if you're planning to just pick this Ahri very early. Yeah. So I'm sure they will be aware of the Sylas pick.
And now we are heading into draft for game number 1 here. The clash of the Flash Wolves. Obviously Junjie, not part of it, but a massive name. It is Maple, Betty, Kasa, and Sword Art. Former teammates, now rivals.
Yeah.
Competing for that MSI spot. It's not definite, of course, that these two teams are going to win it, but they are.
Yeah, you have to call them the favorites.
Yeah. It's hard to really tell who is the true favorite. The Sejuani ban comes through immediately there. Not awfully surprising, considering CFO have shown a tendency to actually put Kasa on tanks a lot of the time these days.
Yeah, and they're willing to just straight up first pick it. I think that caught Frank off guard in their last series.
Yeah.
And they played it alongside the Sylas. That is a terrifying combo.
And back to your point of the Rek'Sai, you know, yesterday we saw the Rek'Sai and I said I'm going to go home and play it, which I did. I went on pro build stats to look at what people are building, and in the pro build stats there was Junjie had played at top, as well as Maple had played at top recently.
Okay.
So not Arja, but still 2 of PSG have been playing at top.
Yeah.
You'd assume now that probably Arja can play it too, considering the rest of his teammates have been.
Yeah, it was being played in the LCK series that just finished into Aatrox every game, I think, and it looked okay into the Aatrox.
Oh, Betty, he got the thumbs up. No eyebrows on the line tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
So lower stakes than yesterday, maybe.
Okay, so Rel, this feels like it's Kasa's champ.
Yeah, I would think so. It is a flex, but haven't seen Sword Art play it at all this split, I think. And I do feel like it's a bit stronger in the jungle than in support.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it in the support role. Honestly, I think it functions well either way. You do need some parts around it, whichever role you want to put it in. Maybe a little bit more flexible if it is in the jungle. Lucian might just be the lock-in here. It's a takeaway from Shun. It's also something Betty and Woody have played a lot of. Likely to be the Nami alongside it. But you can pick up the Rumble that was briefly hovered by Rest before locking in that Rel. It's something that Arja does play. It's something that Rest does play.
Yes,
and
something
we've seen
that
Junjia as
yeah.
well play it to great effect.
I like the Lucian Nami pick here. It kind of pushes you away from picking the Smolder. It's a very scary lane for Smolder, and it's also Shun's maybe best champion.
Yeah.
Zeri in response.
Okay, yeah, just going to be locked in. Definitely a champion that's risen in priority of late. So it will be just locked in alongside that Lulu. So Enchanter 80 carry bot lane. Definitely very strong. And it does give away that this Rel is going to be in the jungle, of course. Not likely to see a Lulu in a solo lane. This is not DCG.
Yeah, and with Vi banned away, it's hard to find answers for this Zeri.
Poppy would be one. But I think, yeah, I like the Rumble. It's also a very good pairing with Rel. So if you don't pick it, you're most likely going to have to ban it. It's also just, you know, some AP on your team. Gory does like those AD champs, the likes of the Yone, the likes of the Tristana. So taking away the Rumble makes it a lot harder now to find AP elsewhere in your composition, which should mean we are going to see something akin to Talia or Ari again in the mid lane.
I wonder if they feel like they have to ban top laners, because we obviously haven't seen an answer to the Rumble.
Yeah, there's
like
no way you have to ban it. You might ban something that compositionally you don't want to go up against, but Rumble is never going to feel like he has to ban anything for his lane. He's always going to be pretty much winning.
So Talia banned away is kind of hinting at an Ari pick. It doesn't seem that great of a pick. It will force Junjia onto an AD jungler, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be an Ari ban. Nico's the first ban. I mean, the top 2 player of the week for all of LoL Esports was Maple on that Nico up against SoftBank.
Yeah,
saving them game number 5 against Baron buff. Looked like SoftBank were a shoo-in to actually take the series, but you know, betting against Maple in a game 5 is never a smart idea.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous turnaround. They had just picked up Baron, and they were on their way to pick up Soul and close out the game into a 4-man Nico ult from Maple. Cassante banned away.
Okay, so just banning away something that will lose lane but have a lot of agency in team fights. Now, what's the last ban coming through? Ari makes sense.
Are you super worried about the Ari if you're Zeri? Maybe not.
Maybe not if you're Zeri, but the rest of the team's going to kind of suffer. They don't have any way to lock down the Ari. A polymorph could come through in theory, but...
Orianna is banned, which is also an answer to Ari, so... I mean, this is screaming an Ari pick here.
Yeah, and I think it might be Sylas in response, but I'm not sure if I like the Sylas up against things like the Lucian, Nami, and the Rumble, obviously. Getting melee range of a Rumble never feels that good. Maybe it's just going to be the Tristana does completely fine into the Ari. Also, it is something that we've seen Maple, I think, out of everyone have
the
most impact
annoying.
on. Gory alongside it as well. I think Gory's looked really good on the Tristana.
So what do you pick into Tristana here? He might just go for the Sylas anyway. It doesn't seem like a great matchup to me, but I'm honestly not super sure. But yeah, PSG with this Tristana are so annoying to play the mid game against.
Oh wow, maybe Rest just going on to the Udyr. Looking to put in a shift up top.
Yeah, we'll see what Aja is our best Udyr top by a wide margin.
Yeah. It is not even close.
But it is going to be Rest picking up this time, and the mid lane answer to Tristana for Gory. Go on.
Yasuo. I mean, there's set up for it in the Rel, even the Lulu ult.
Yeah. We saw SoftBank play the Yasuo in support.
Yeah, okay, so it is going to be Gory on the Yasuo up into Maple's Tristana. Imagine if they just psychopathically flexed Tristana top and just gave Maple the Rumble. Surely Rumble just runs at Yasuo and
Rumble
punches
jungle,
his face.
Rumble jungle, Tristana top, Annie mid. I don't know, that's my solo queue counter to Yasuo. Annie.
Annie? Fair enough.
Okay, Maokai.
Definitely a champion that kind of fell out of favor, but doesn't seem like it really should have. It still just seems awfully strong.
Yeah, internationally it's still just being picked up whenever it's left open. Usually not left to last pick either. I do think Windwall blocks the Maokai ult. So, so a little more value for the Yasuo pick here. That is a big team fight ult that he can nullify, but if he's using Windwall to block the Maokai ult, it does leave him very vulnerable to Tristana and especially Lucian.
Yeah, the culling can then no longer be blocked, and
Yeah.
honestly, I think for the most part, Yasuo is going to struggle into the Maokai, although there is that interaction. Just having lockdown onto a Yasuo is, you know, a fantastic way to deal with them, especially when it's something like the Twisted Advance that you just press the button and you are going to be able to root Yasuo up.
Yeah, and if you're going to play the Yasuo, it makes sense to do it game 1.
Yeah.
If you see a good game for it, get your Yasuo game in, and then if it doesn't work out, you have to find some other way to approach this draft.
Yeah.
So it is a risky pick that, I mean, we've seen work.
Yeah, once. Vista on SoftBank.
Yeah, Vista was a monster.
Yeah, he ended up not doing all that much damage, but it's not awfully surprising considering he was just basically the AD carry Yasuo, so...
Yeah, he did destroy the Smolder in lane.
Yeah. This is all true. That game was very dicey, though. Boy, oh boy, that game was dicey.
Yeah, it feels like every SoftBank game is dicey.
Now we are going to load into Rift for game number 1 here. PSG Talon up against the CTBC Flying Oysters. I think an international fan favorite, perhaps, due to their name.
Yeah. And
30 seconds.
Very
Yeah.
unique.
I would have to favor PSG in terms of scaling, right? Just how well they play their macro with the Tristana as well.
Yeah, I think scaling is not much of an issue for either team here. I think both of them are going to be completely fine at all stages of this game, especially because there is the setup through Ralph for the Yasuo, so you know at some stage he is going to be able to get onto one of those high priority targets, even if it is just the dismounted Rel, just remounting and knocking up one person. If that one person's a Lucian or a Tristana, I feel pretty good. Trades early, going in favor of the Zeri and the Lulu.
Yeah, Ignite comes out.
Maple just walking down here, though. Does he have rocket jump? He probably does.
Might take a flash here if you
Getting the
rocket
heal
jump.
through. Yeah. Okay, Maple with the early roam. It's going to lose him a little bit of prio in this mid lane, but getting out Shun summoners, both the cleanse and the flash, the heal as well for Sword Art.
And that is not a real recall. I don't think Shun is going to finish that. He actually does just finish his recall. That is going to put CFO's bot lane on the back foot for this entire laning phase.
Maple just gonna rocket jump into lane.
Yeah, it doesn't lose all that much for it. I didn't see if he got XP
He did, yeah.
for that first minion, but yeah.
He's going to be completely fine. It does, obviously, having the rocket jump as well as coming to lane late mean his lane's going to be a little weaker at the start, but he'll be completely fine as it continues on.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Gory, not just in the laning phase, but later on in the game to deal with the split push pressure that Maple puts on with this Tristana.
Yeah,
He
possibly the
just
best
gets-
at doing it.
Yeah, he gets so much farm and resources just by sitting in a side lane. PSG plays so well around it as well. Not a massive amount of wave clear. Lucian's going to get a static Shiv. But that's really about it for their wave clear.
And neither team, really. Honestly, the wave clear is just in favor of PSG. Rumble can clear away with ult. Lucian's going to be fine at just landing the
Yeah, I mean, Yasuo just has to
trick shot.
put it all on the line to clear a wave, essentially. Unless Windwall is up.
Yeah. And there's just no one else, really. Maybe, you know, empowered Phoenix stance, and then Zeri does a little bit, but to actually really wave clear Zeri, you kind of have to use that dash, at which point you're going to be awfully vulnerable.
I mean,
Okay, Gory trading very aggressively. This wave is pushing into him. It's kind of a rough lane state for Maple. He would have loved to have been in lane and push those first couple of waves and had it bouncing back to him at this stage. It's going to make the lane a lot harder with how it is right now. Not really how the matchup should go, but of course, he did just give his bot such a winning lane after
yeah.
going
And
down the level 1.
flanked
BD,
by
though.
Karsa.
Yeah, flash available for both bot laners of PSG, but Woody maybe just going to be taken out. Does get polymorph, does have flash, but he's not going to be able to use it, and it's going to be left. Karsa finding the angle and finding the kill early on there.
Yeah, I think even without flash on Shun, Woody using flash does not get him out there. So
Yeah.
good, really good gank by Karsa. And yeah, we've seen red side bot lane exploited. Karsa perfect timing on that play, and a lot of trading in the mid lane. Junjia has flash up.
Gory does as well. We'll see if he dashes through a minion, he is going to get flashed on by this Maokai, but he won't do that. Junji instead going to come hit that Bramble Smash and help Maple get this lane in so he can look for a reset. Oh.
Yeah, Maple missing a couple CS there, but he'll just be glad to clear that wave and get out of here. He does have TP up. Gory's going to be recalling after shoving this wave, so he'll be basing with a bit more gold. I'm not sure if you still rush the boots on Yasuo, if that's like a big spike for him these days, or you just go for damage items.
I think the boots still come through. Lower cooldown on the Q always feels nice. You can look for all-ins a little easier, just due to having knock up more often.
Yeah, he does just get the Zerka Greaves. Looks like he had exactly enough gold for them. And there's probably not a base for Maple that's going to be as impactful. Yeah, just the recurve bow.
He's going to be okay with that, though. Just trying to get to that Kraken and Navori, and he'll be completely fine.
Yeah.
Void Grubs started up here by Kasa.
And
Junji could look for the dragon, but Kasa's going to be taking just the one for now. Going to go back, take that second.
yeah, this is risky. He does have mid-prio, but all the prio is going to Aja on this Rumble. That's a very one-sided trade for Gory, who actually lands that Q.
Yeah, bone plating up means it's pretty hard for Tristana to trade back, as well as, of course, win wall. Shun now getting aggressive. Woody going to have to flash away. But Betty, with the fancy footwork, does pick up that kill in return onto Shun. Sword Art now, no summoners available. Is it going to try and land that Glitter Lance onto this Lucian to look for a kill in return? But not able to do so just yet. Heal's going to be able to come through from Woody. And Betty, with that relentless pursuit, tries to pick up the kill, but it's the Nami who eventually gets it.
Yeah, CFO's bot lane, so aggressive all laning phase. Not respecting that their jungler's on the opposite side of the map. Maybe a misread on where the Maokai is, but I mean, Shun lands this really nice Zeri W, so he can't resist going for this trade, and he does almost kill Betty, but Betty dashing out of the Zeri Q. And as well as just split focus, right, from the side of CFO.
Yeah.
Lucian and Nami both low. Sword Art's full HP at the end of that. And yeah, Junji shows up. Unfortunately, kill goes to Nami, right? But, I mean, that's going to speed up her Imperial mandate. You're not even mad about that.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, if she can get her spikes at similar timings to the Lucian, it makes the combo all that more scary.
Yeah, flash now coming through from Junjia. Knock-up available, but nice flash from Maple is going to make sure he's not going to get hit by that. But now, flash forward from Kasa, and they do manage to get that Yasuo ult in. Buster shot. Going to secure kill number one for Maple. It is returned, of course. Sword Art roaming up here on the Lulu. Does find one in response, but definitely a trade that you'd take for PSG, getting the kill onto your mid laner versus the support.
Yeah, and that was kind of a disappointing play from Karsa, just because at the start of this play, Gory had burned two of PSG's flashes without even using his own flash. He just gets out here. He's completely out, and this is such a massive success for CFO. 2 flashes burnt from PSG, but Karsa goes in and uses his own flash. They don't have enough damage to kill the Maokai. Gory ends up losing his flash and dying. So maybe just misjudging the damage they can deal to this Maokai. They didn't take him out in the Yasuo ult, so he comes out and bursts back onto Gory.
Yeah, gets a little bit of health back as well, just for good measure. CS, though, very much in favor of Gory in this mid lane. Of course, it is just sort of due to level 1. Maple never really being able to get control of the wave after helping out his bottom lane.
Yeah, and that resulted in just a way better base for Gory as well.
Yeah.
And was just able to extend a pretty big CS lead, honestly. And if you're worried about this Tristana being a side lane threat, I mean, setting her behind like this is going to have a massive impact. I'm not sure how threatening Yasuo is to the Trist.
Okay, Twisted Advance, and is win wall available here for Gory? It is, but Maple's well within range, and Junjia is going to be CCing up this Yasuo. Maple did get a reset there on the rocket jump. That's a second kill, so the CS lead meaning less and less as Maple's picking up a second kill for himself now.
Yeah, like you predicted, the Maokai is so annoying for this Yasuo. Just point and click CC. Tristana pretty easily able to get over the wind wall as well.
Yeah.
So unless you time it so that it's blocking the Tristana bomb, yeah, they're just going to kill you on repeat like this, especially without your flash.
Now, the fruits of Junjia's labor should be this dragon. With the bot lane and Betty and Woody also roaming up, it should all but confirm it. Caster's not really going to be able to find a way in here, especially with Gory yet to return to his lane.
Yeah, and you've got to be worried about the state of this game right now. Udyr just going dead even in the top lane. Not going to be as useful as Rumble later into this game. He is just a punching bag for Tristana and Lucian, as well as the Rumble. And then Rumble, on the other hand, is a serious threat in any game we see him.
Absolutely. We saw him game number 5 last night. Well, not last night. Thursday night. Absolutely dominated Eevee for the laning phase, at least. This could be the 6th Void Grubs, though, picked up here for CFO. Always going to feel pretty good, but not necessarily game-ending. They are just going to maybe stick to 4, but it doesn't seem like there's any real need to. Junji are coming over here. There is a smite available, so they should be at least getting 5, and they do. Caster now going to back away and allow Junji to at least get 1 here. Going to also be the Scuttle Crab for Junji on the Maokai.
Yeah, you still managed to get 5 as CFO. We'll see how impactful it ends up being, as kind of older lanes are shoved in at the moment. I don't think this Yasuo is ever hitting towers in the side lane later.
I think Maple would have to misplay
Yeah.
a bit egregiously for that. Bubble almost connecting onto Shun there, as seems like Lightning Crash was used. It wasn't going to be getting anything out of PSG. They just run away from it. So definitely power now for PSG in their bottom lane.
Yeah, he gets a decent trade, but Nami can just sustain Betty on the Lucian back up, and pretty favorable for PSG now. If they take any fights around the bot lane, Static Shiv on both ADCs. And, I mean, it's already feeling like Shun is just going to have to 1v9 this game. Yeah.
Arja is, in fact, spitting flames.
So the Udyr was picked into the Rumble, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't look so far like it's having that good of a time.
No, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that Arja's picked up, 200, 300 gold already.
Just from first strike, right?
Yeah.
As well as a plate. Cancels his base to make sure he does get the plate. Isn't going to be missing that tempo, I don't think. He can TP, but well, I mean, Rest doesn't have his TP, so you're fine to just TP and not worry about this dragon.
Yeah, he could just ult the wave as well, and then probably doesn't need to TP.
Yeah.
Looks like he's just going to stay, though. And, yeah, I mean, definitely favoring PSG in the current state of affairs. Obviously, fantastic team fighting for CFO. Can absolutely bring them back. A nice engage from Caster with the Gory follow-up. As well as the later this goes, you start to favor Zeri. There is a bit of lockdown in the Maokai.
Yeah, but you've got a difficult mid-game to get through with the Zeri. Lucian's going to be stronger on 1-2 items with the Nami behind him. Up until Zeri gets like 3-4 items, then she's just one-shotting Maple, Aja, or Betty. Or just about everyone but the Maokai has to be really afraid.
Okay.
Rest.
Oh, Rest not getting the CC immune in time. Does pop the Ghost. Equalizer slowing him up. Nature's Grass comes through too, and that's another kill. This time RJ picking it up. 2-man Q coming through, as it looks like Gory might not be much longer for this world either, and that's a double kill now on RJ on the Rumble. PSG slowly but surely just clawing further and further ahead. 3K almost is the gold lead. At only 13 minutes.
Yeah, Gory just walks up, windwalls nothing, and goes down with his top laner. Just
in solidarity.
Yeah, just a solidarity death. Does have his TP to get back to lane, but I don't think this is going to be a very impactful Yasuo game.
Yeah, I think we're not seeing it again. Oh,
Yeah.
Trades bot. It's going to be ults answered for both of these AD carries, both still having flash. Both now are pretty much one shot away from dying to one another. Maple going to have to be flashing away. Gory did have his to follow, but chooses not to.
Yeah, it feels like Junji has been in his lane so often. You just take the flash, you're happy to take that. It's Abyssal Mask first for Udyr. I don't think we've seen that.
Yeah, no.
kind of surprising since it is, you know, it's a magic resist shred item and there's not a whole lot of magic damage coming from his team.
It is very cheap. It is extremely cheap.
Yeah, it's a cheap magic resist item as well.
Yeah.
PSG grab a second dragon and just look in a very dominant position this game. I don't know what the game plan's going to be for CFO. It really does feel like, Shun, please carry us.
Yeah, there's a Knight's Vow for him. Even the Redemption now coming through.
Yeah, I think for now the Knight's Vow is on the Yasuo, but it won't be long before that switch to the Zeri, I think.
Yeah. You can just switch it between whoever you want. One of the luxuries you are given.
What's the cooldown on it? It's not very long.
It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
trivial. The cooldown is kind of like you can't switch it 3 times in a team fight.
Junjia going for a steal here.
Yeah. Isn't going to be able to get it. Pretty hard to steal objectives against Rel. But they might be able to guard the eye, so...
Yeah, so
It
Herald
can't
ends
be
up just
picked
being
up.
4 CS for
Kasa's
CFO.
looking for a way in. Maple's guarding it, though, and as is Junjia. He's going for it now. He is going to be allowed to pick that up.
Yeah, and that is kind of classic PSG. They just make you fight for everything,
Yeah, nothing for free.
making it very scary even to pick up the Herald Eye. Junjia is like quietly up almost 30 CS on the Maokai out of nowhere.
Yeah, you don't feel too bad, of course. Rel and Maokai pretty...
Yeah, gonna have the same impact.
Yeah, pretty low resource champs.
But Maokai does get to just stack armor this game. So his gold is going to be a bit more efficient than the Rel.
You kind of feel like maybe Rest needs to go Leandri's this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is just disastrous anyway.
I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Just Leandri's into full tank. You're always hitting multiple people with it. You have a bit of magic damage, though. You know, Rel does a minuscule amount, but Zeri and Lulu do a reasonable amount of magic damage. Just through, you know, you doing their regular, scheduled, standard Zeri Lulu shenanigans.
Yeah. And yeah, Rest just kind of been suffering under his tower most of this game. 30 CS lead for Aja.
CFO not going to allow Junjia to just sit there and take their pink ward. Going to miss the stun there. As Junjia is quietly just space gliding on everything. They find the bubble onto Shun, and Twisted Advance is used, but not even going to have to use the clean. Casa, though, getting very low. Ignite comes down. Redemption now going to be used to top him back up just a little bit, but the culling has taken out half of Shun's HP.
Yeah, and he's not really going to have the lifesteal apart from probably Bloodline and his runes. So has to be a bit careful in the mid lane now.
God.
Uh-oh.
Tidal Wave coming through. Nice wind wall. Going to block it up. And Junjia now polymorphed, and Lightning Crash was used. Nature's Grass coming. There is no wind wall. Already been used. Blocked up, but the equalizer's good. And Cast is taken out. Betty picking up that one. Cleanse and Flash now popped by Shun as Gory's going to get away on a slither of HP. And it's PSG reigning supreme.
Yeah, and as expected, Maples in a side lane takes the first of, I'm assuming, many towers he'll be taking this game.
Teleport
Can
coming
Shun
through.
actually
Gory.
hold this?
This is Gory coming. Bubble not quite timed well from Woody. And Gory's getting aggressive here onto Junjia. Does land the knockup, but there isn't enough follow-up for him to be confident in going. Maple now roaming down, joining the rest of his team. Perhaps not needing to, but it's here.
Yeah, Rest shows up, but I mean, he's only built magic resist at this point, so running into a Lucian Tristana, he loses half of his HP immediately. And here PSG just fend off this first engage. It's not even the flash from Betty, just the E to get out of Karsa's flash engage. And once the wind wall goes down, they're just free to Maokai ult and chase this down. Aja, I think a little misaligned on the ult there, but they do end up picking up the kill onto Karsa, who sacrifices himself, just tanks up the Maokai ulti. And yeah, everything going pretty good for PSG. Really just void grubs for CFO.
Yep.
Couple kills.
Now, Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Maple still having his teleport available to himself, so he'll be able to just sit in the side lane. Most likely someone has to answer. It should be Rest just by virtue of having the teleport. that he can join his team if Maple chooses to.
Yeah, he's only got magic resist at the moment and a cloth armor, so it's going to be torture for him against the Tristana.
Rift Shield used, not quite going to break open that mid tower, but it is river priority here for CFO. Maple actually recalling, he's looking for a teleport in now. Just going to be teleporting in to a minion on the mid wave. Gory gets smited up, he's going to have to use that windwall very, very early, and this is a dangerous choke to be fighting up against the Rumble in. Culling comes down, not really finding all that much value, and Tidal Wave just whiffs completely.
Yeah, HP lead for PSG at the moment. Junjia is chunked out on the Maokai, but still very tanky and able to sustain. And it'll looks like just a fight for mid-prio.
Shun, 1 HP. Betty almost having the best of him there, and with that, it doesn't feel like there's any world in which CFO can actively compete for this dragon. Maybe look for the mid-wave and possible tower, but it seems like PSG are onto it. They're just going to send down a couple members, pick up the dragon. Maple's going to collect that bot lane, most likely the tower as well, and there is nothing to respond with for CFO.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, you need to just be going for some of these shutdowns on the side of CFO. Just commit everything onto Betty, Rest, or Maple, and get a shutdown onto your Zeri. But they don't really have the tools to do it. You saw Karsa try to flash in that mid-game engage, in that mid-lane engage, and just the Lucian E was enough to save Betty. Tristana pretty hard to lock down too, so kind of just leaves Aja as your target.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary. A lot of melee champs, and this is now a 2-item rumble with the Crypt Bloom completed. Going to have a better time for himself into the Udyr. At the moment, though, it is Maple going head-to-head. Warden's Mail completed, so Rest going to be taking a little bit less damage from these Tristana auto attacks and abilities, but still pretty safe lane for Maple to sit in.
Yeah, it's safe to say we still don't like any team but PSG picking the Udyr. Rest has not looked impactful at all on this champ.
Yeah.
Losing his lane pretty hard. Maybe the point is it just survives against the Rumble.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that do that. It's always going to be a rough lane. I think it doesn't matter what you pick. But it always feels bad to give RJ something that wins lane, because it just tends to be if he wins lane, then PSG are just a shoo-in to win the game. He's really, really good at converting his lead to the rest of his team. Probably the best top laner at doing so.
Yeah, Evie. Yeah. Pretty good at it too.
Yeah, but Evie's pretty inconsistent about it. I think RJ does it 100% of the time. If he gets ahead, his whole team is getting ahead.
Yeah. And I mean, it didn't really feel like PSG needed his help this time. Bot lane was winning. Mid lane with the help of Junjia was winning. And Baron started up. Very fast Baron for the side of PSG.
Yeah, if Betty's able to get back and hit it. Of course, Maple's going to be doing a bit of damage. Karsa now, they're going to spot it out. Half HP on this Baron. Rest is here. Everyone here for the side of CFO. Ghost now popped for Rest. This Baron is extremely low. And Rel's smite range much higher. Magnet Storm just goes completely wide. You no longer have this Yasuo combo. He gets stunned up there by the sapling, but it's a double kill coming through from RJ. And Maple's going forward. Maple's going to flash, and Maple gets himself the 4th kill of that team fight. Gory doing 0 damage, manages to find 430 as he goes down to RJ. And it's a clean ace with Baron to follow as PSG firmly taking control of the game.
Yeah, that Rumble ulti was just ridiculous. PSG funneled CFO into this Baron choke, and they played so well around the new Baron terrain. Once that Rumble ult came out, the fight was just over. You don't really want to have the smite fight against the Rel. She just does so much damage to the neutral objectives that they just get off the Baron and let CFO walk in and clean them up. I mean, that fight was not even close. It's just this Rumble ult that it ends the team fight the moment it starts, essentially.
Engage as well.
And yeah, it's just doomed from this point. Rest just goes down without a second thought, really. And it's too much for Shun to do in these fights. There's so much damage coming back from PSG.
And Aja just strolls in, finds a Yasuo.
Yeah, and we've talked about PSG being a terrifying team to play against. Even when you're ahead, it can be so difficult to end. When you're behind, it just hasn't felt like there's even a chance for CFO.
Yeah.
Just no mistakes, no overextensions.
PSG are probably the cleanest team at getting ahead and staying ahead, I think, as well. They're other teams in our league. You think of Frank, you think of, honestly, DCG, J-Team, the other teams that made it here into the upper bracket. They are okay at getting ahead through lane.
Yeah, but
they are not very good at maintaining that lead.
Yeah,
they make a lot of mistakes.
They'll give you a kill or something. PSG, these 2 kills that CFO had are from the very start of the game. I think they were just kills traded back.
Yeah, and not a single carry has gone down. Now, Windwall can block out this Nature's Grasp. They are going to eventually use it. But the pressure given over, Redemption coming out, bottom lane tower now being completely destroyed. Flash forward from Caster. They find the knockout, but Gory's not coming. Now he will. Betty should be going down. Teleport coming through now from Maple. It's a 1-for-1, despite it being a 4v5. RJ now arriving to this team fight, and it's reset city for Maple. He absolutely destroys Shun. Shun is hitting him the whole time with the empowerment of Lulu and finds absolutely nothing. It's a triple kill for Maple. It's the game for PSG. 25 minutes is all they need as they lead the series now 1-0.
Yeah, decent engage onto Betty, getting his flash and still finding the engage from Karsa, but it was Woody with a Nami ult to just completely shut down the follow-up, so it took them a long time to take down the solution. And by the time he had got down, the TP from the Rumble came through, and Maple was still untouched, just able to 1v1 Shun at that point in the game.
Yeah, absolute destruction. And
yeah, clinical.
I don't think we're seeing Yasuo again. It was strong at the start of the game, but that wasn't because of the Yasuo. That was because Maple had expended a lot of time and sort of paid the price in his lane to help bottom. And you saw it was really successful. Lucian, Nami, winning lane from level 1 is always going to feel really good, because as soon as you get to level 3, you are just the stronger duo in that sort of dynamic.
Yeah, I feel bad for Gory because I don't feel like he played all that poorly on the Yasuo. I think it was just a massive mistake from Karsa to re-engage that mid lane 2v2 after Gory had just made an amazing play to get out of that gank. They both used flash, and he just walked out on over half HP on the Yasuo. They were in a great spot from there. But then Karsa re-engages with his flash. Gory loses his flash, and at least Gory goes down. I think Karsa does just get out. But that just set him behind now. And without a flash against Maokai Tristana, he just got bullied in the mid lane. Went down a million times.
I think Jinjia did a really good job of identifying flash timers and just punishing it on repeat. Because Gory, as soon as he didn't have flash, he just had a Maokai living in his lane. And so he could never actually go forward and trade aggressively. And if you're a Yasuo that can't go forward, you can't really do anything, right? You're trying to sit there, hit poke with Q. And at which point, like, you just wish you were a different champion. Obviously there was that mistake coming through from Castle with the re-engage, but I think ultimately the Yasuo just feels too feast or famine. And when you're going up a team like PSG, who will get ahead and won't give you a way back in, it feels like this champ doesn't really have a true place in the draft. There's also just champs that lock it down. I mean, the Maokai coming through, immediately you're going to have a rough game here as the Yasuo. The Wind Wall was able to find some value, but honestly, there's so much that you really want to block. The Tidal Wave, the Nature's Grasp, even just damage coming through from Maple and Betty, but you're not able to do all of those things. You can sort of block one, and even then, are you really finding that much value out of blocking one projectile? Probably not.
Yeah, PSG did such a good job of not expending, because you want to block the culling, the Maokai ult, and the Nami ult with the Wind Wall, and they never use two at the same time.
Yeah.
They would just use one if they had to into the Wind Wall, and then they'd have the other two to re-engage with once that Wind Wall came down. It was actually pretty difficult to navigate the team fights for PSG against the Yasuo, but they did it immaculately. And one other mistake from CFO really was just that bot lane trade a little too aggressively with their jungler on the Void Grubs. Junjie was able to come down and punish them. They had actually kind of lost the 2v2 anyway, very close, but Sword Art ends up going down too, and all it takes against PSG are those two mistakes in the early game, and they just close the game out against you.
Yeah, I think that's important to note as well, is that they did kind of go even in that trade, but one team has an army. So you're just going to get healed back to sort of reasonable amount of health if you are the Lucian. Whereas for the side of CFO, when you have that Zeri Lulu, all you can do is shield. So you can sort of lower damage coming through from follow-up trades. But if Betty just has more health than you, he can play more aggressively. The shield is probably not going to matter all that much. Maybe Polymorph, you could say, swings it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll take a look at this replay. This was just the end of the game.
Yeah.
Really nice Rumble ult.
Equalizer, just kind of doesn't even need to be all that nice to give his team time to hit this tower. Windwall is down at this point, I believe. Betty getting aggressive on the Lucian. They're so ahead at this point that even once Betty goes down, this tidal wave just forces all these melee champions on the side of CFO to walk around it or wait for it.
Yeah, and that's the only time a carry died for PSG. Was right there.
Yeah, and they get 5 for it.
Yeah, they just win the game
and end
because
the
of
game. Maple not afraid at all of this Zeri, who he's probably an item ahead of at this point in the game, and no surprises to see the Rumble topping damage this game. Udyr is just a punching bag in these
3
matchups.
melee champs as Rumble feels like a dream come true. Somehow you've just blind picked the Rumble early on in the draft and somehow got yourself, honestly, a dream of a game to play. It's just so easy for RJ to pilot his lane, pilot these team fights.
Yeah.
Especially off the back of the lockdown coming through from Woody on the Nami, from Junjia on that Maokai. So really well played. I mean, nice draft out of PSG. I don't think we're going to see another game even close to this again this series. I don't think we're seeing the Yasuo again. Caster on Rel, I wouldn't hesitate to say we'll see it again. The Rel, the Maokai, the Sejuani seem like jungling champs that CFO actually enjoy taking.
Yeah, I think they look great
function
with Karsa.
best with.
Yeah, Karsa on a tank looks great for the CFO team. I think Sword Art on an Enchanter doesn't look all that great for this team. Doesn't seem like... I mean, they were very behind that game, but I think with Sword Art on something like the Rakan, which he played 3 times up against Frank, he's just able to find some angles for them, and it's maybe a more competitive game. He's not going to 1v9 carry on the Rakan, but 100% KP for Karsa and Sword Art. They play so well together, and it looks a lot better when Sword Art is on something with a bit more agency than the Lulu.
Yeah, and nothing too shocking coming through here for our statistics.
Yeah,
we obviously
Maple
saw the damage already, but yeah, Maple really just getting those resets. And honestly, when it came to teamfight damage, he was really the DPS checker. He was just constantly finding these resets, going aggressive. Maple also will be picking up that MVP, and I think it's deserved simply because of how the level 1 went. He well and truly went bot and won bot lane for them. He got Shun to flash, Cleanse was lost, and forced the reset to come through, which just gave the easiest lane of all time to that Lucian Nami.
Yeah, it's also one of those games where just all of PSG had a very clean game, so it's kind of hard to pick out an MVP. I think everyone on PSG just did their job, and I mean, this Rumble ult from Aja was ridiculous.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Shun does manage to get out of it, but Gori and Karsa are just stuck sitting in it, paired very nicely with the Maokai ult. We've seen that combo a lot. And Shun just doesn't have uptime in these fights. There's barely a tank on the side of PSG, just 3 very high damage carries that you're not able to do all that much against on the Zeri. You're good for a kill, maybe.
Yeah, little Lance's never slowing down this Tristana enough.
Yeah, losing these fights to Trist as well just means she's going to be following up a bunch of kills afterwards.
Yeah, well played by CFO. I mean, PSG, not well played by CFO, I'm sorry to say.
I mean, they played it better than we would have.
They did. That is one thing that's for sure. But I mean, looking forward into this series, I don't think we're going to see anything even remotely close to this. The drafts will be different. CFO, we know them to have deep champion pools. Udyr as well. We're probably not picking Udyr into Rumble. It survives the lane, sure. But RJ was just doing so much damage. He was able to do anything he wanted that entire game. And so CFO, they've got more in store for us. And we're going to go to a break. Once we're back, we'll see what that is.
got me off the ground, and I was earthbound. But my mirror was invisible, 'cause I was waiting for a miracle. You got me off the ground when I was earthbound. Hey, 'cause I was waiting for a miracle. You're wild, like a fire. I feel safe in your wildfire, in your flames, in your barbed wire. You're wild, like a fire. I feel safe in your wildfire, in your flames, in your barbed wire. You got me off the ground, and I was earthbound. But my mirror wasn't visible, 'cause I was waiting for a miracle. You got me lost for words, and it might sound absurd. You're like dope and adrenaline, it's like both well and genuine. Hey, you got me off the ground when I was earthbound. Hey, 'cause I was waiting for a miracle. You're wild, like a fire. I feel safe in your wildfire, in your flames, in your barbed wire. You're wild, like a fire. I feel safe in your wildfire, in your flames, in your barbed wire. Said I hate to see you go, but you're always back for more. Said I hate when things move slow. Oh, so far yet so close. 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 Oh, so far. Oh, love you all night. Oh, no, me not alright. Oh, la di da right. Oh, la di da right. This is hello paradise. I can't decide. Show me the light, show me a sign. Said I hate to see you go, but you're always back for more. Said I hate when things move slow. Oh, so far yet so close. 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 Oh, so far.
Welcome back, everybody. Game number 2, getting ready for it. And it's going to be CFO with the challenge of showing us they have what it takes to at least bring us 4 games. And of course, it is all brought to you by the Grand Hilai Taipei. If you are in Taipei, definitely want to check this place out. It is a beautiful space with pretty much anything you could ever dream of and their vicinity. Now, game number 2, it is going to be CFO once again on the blue side. We were just talking about it then. Didn't really get much from the blue side in game 1.
The Rel first pick just fell flat completely, didn't really get up to much, and kind of threw Gory's lane for him. Yeah, we're looking for a completely different approach to this draft. The Lucian first rotation from PSG went just completely unanswered, kind of ran away with the game, won the lane despite CFO actually being the aggressors in most of those trades. PSG's bot lane were just winning. And yeah, in the top lane, the Udyr to answer the Rumble looked pretty abysmal as well. I mean, Udyr needs a massive advantage to have equal impact to a champion like Rumble. And you might still just not have as much impact later in the games. You want to at least slow down something like the Rumble, because it just straight up won them that Baron fight, essentially on its own.
Yeah. And
Rumble has the power to do that. Udyr does not.
We have the music. We have the Nautilus ban. That means we're in Champ Select. I wonder, is Nautilus still sitting at 100% presence? I think it is.
Yeah, probably. And an abysmal win rate as well.
Yeah, absolute shocking win rate. That's okay. You get those on the big jobs.
Yeah, maybe it just makes drafting a little easier to ban the Nautilus. It kind of bans the Senna alongside it.
Yeah, I mean,
most
that's
teams,
not true.
Most teams not brave enough to play Senna Yasuo or Senna Hui.
Yeah. Now, Karma going to once again be banned. We'll see what CFO do with their blue side first pick this game. The Rel kind of didn't feel all that impactful.
Yeah, I think if they ban Kalista here like they did game 1, you can first pick the Lucian if you're CFO.
Unless first picking the Rumble.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I like that too.
RG could first rotation the Cassante here, which would be a big difference. While your lane is always going to be just as rough, if not even more rough than the Udyr was, you're still going to have a completely fine time for yourself the later this game goes. Once you can get some magic resist behind you.
Yeah, Lucian makes sense.
Nami probably just going to be the lock-in here. We'll see if they look for something different. You don't have to pick the Nami. There's not really any other lanes you want to have the Nami in for CFO to try pick it away. In theory you could, but there is just the Milio to fall back on if need be.
Yeah, and this time you can go for the Zeri Lulu again, but there's just not as much pressure to just 1v9 for Shun on the Zeri. You've got another carry threat in the Rumble, someone who's just going to be way more useful in fights than an Udyr. As well, if Rez can just outright win his lane like Aja did, it'll put you in a lot better spot to play the mid game.
Wow, this would be bold.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Aphelios all split.
It's just locked in, so Aphelios and Milio are going to be the bot lane pairing this game for CFO. Definitely haven't seen this pair in weeks now.
Yep.
See how it can stand up to the aggression coming through from PSG's bot lane.
Yeah, same story as the Zeri. I think it's going to be pretty rough in the mid game, but Aphelios should massively outscale the Lucian.
So Arju's just going to lock in the Udyr himself. Definitely a better Udyr player in terms of the eye test.
Yeah.
Oftentimes just doesn't care about his lane. He actually doesn't often find himself an advantage. Rather pushes lane and then just walks down to the jungle to make Cass's life a little bit more miserable and give Junjia space on the map to do pretty much whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's usually Junjia the benefactor of this Udyr pick rather than Aja himself. He definitely, if he's in a losing matchup, is not just going to be sitting in the top lane. Yeah. PSG actually banned the Tristana this time around. Not as great of an option for them to pick without the Rumble
Yeah, for
to
sure.
bring some magic damage, so don't want to allow CFO to play it.
It could even just be the Tristana Yone. I don't think you're too scared of the Yasuo, but maybe, I mean, the combination of something like Yasuo, Rumble, Rel seems really scary to go up against.
Yeah, and while last game, the Zeri wasn't all that worried about an Ahri, it's a bit scarier for an Aphelios.
For sure. There is, of course, the Breath of Life coming through from Sword Art on this Milio that can get rid of that charm and make times a little easier. Give Shun a little bit more room to play around. Maybe even not having to take the cleanse.
Nico banned away again from Maple.
And there is the Yone. Not too surprising, really. You are still, of course, going to want to try and find an AD in this mid lane, but Rumble doesn't really care if he's not solo AP. Obviously, it is better, but he's okay, as is Ahri, to just be mixing the magic damage alongside someone else on the team.
Yeah, they generally bring enough utility that you're not too stressed about running double AP. It's just going to make Aja's life a lot easier in terms of his builds. Yeah, Ahri banned away this time from Maple, and will they save jungle for last pick again? Seems like Junjia massively outperformed Karsa last game, so maybe just give him a jungle last pick.
Now this is always a treat to watch, the Junjia Wukong. Puts on an absolute clinic every time he gets this champ. I think last time we saw him on it, he had something like 12 kills. It was an absolute bonkers game.
Yeah, somehow everyone else picks Wukong and it looks like it does no damage, isn't all that useful early game, but Junjia plays it, he's just picking up kills all over the place. And then it is a team fight monster.
Yeah, maybe Talia going to be picked up here for Gory. Definitely one of his signature champs over the years, so you're going to like to see that if you are a CFO fan. Of course, as you said before, going to make Aja's job a little easier now on the Udyr itemization. Going to be a lot more benefiting the MR that he's going to have to first item, being that he is into that Rumble.
Yep.
So added value due to the Talia pick. Xin Zhao for Karsa, so not the tank this time.
Yeah.
Will provide a little bit more damage for coming through, especially AD.
Yeah, I like the Wukong blind as well because you know you're against an AD jungler. You almost certainly have to pick an AD jungler this game.
Oh, damn. I actually think Corki might be really strong here. I think if you go Corki, you can just rush more in this game.
Wow.
Going to be the Akali instead, so Talia deals with Akali okay. It is a little scary, of course. You can't very reliably get that Scattered Earth to lock down this Akali, and even if you do, as long as the Shroud's out, should feel fairly safe.
Yeah, especially in the early game. Maybe scary in the side lane later, but it's just going to be Prio completely over to Gory, and probably Prio to rest too. Maybe not in the very early game. But Aja was able to get Prio on this Rumble after maybe first or second back.
Yeah.
So it could be scary for Junjia.
Yeah, see how I can navigate around Karsa. I imagine Karsa's going to be looking for invades, particularly into that top side. So Junjia wouldn't be too shocked to see him start there.
Yeah, it's this time it's PSG with the very volatile pick in the mid lane. Ahri, just like the Yasuo, is a feast. Akali, sorry, is just a feast or famine champion. You're either going to take over the game or just lose. And they will be very low damage if this Akali does not pick up some kills and actually become a backline threat.
Sure. Unless Wukong, of course, picks up 12 kills.
Yeah, Junjia can just take over a game on a Wukong.
So drafts now are obviously locked in. Definitely a stronger team composition being formed by CFO in game number 2. You have to kind of favor them. Karsa's pretty decent, or very good even, at utilizing winning lanes and making sure he gets himself and his team objectives.
Yeah, his team fighting is very good on the Xin as well.
Yeah.
Looks just nearly invincible on that champ. And
Sword Art face checking. That's an Udyr. And this might just be first blood going over really early. Flash going to be used. Heal going to be used. Arja takes a tower shot, but he does not care. He's playing Udyr.
Yeah, manages to trade Betty's flash and ignite back, so you're okay with that if you're CFO's bot lane? Getting to keep the flash on Shun as well.
Yeah, somehow sort out makes it out. So close, just face checking into this 3-man unit.
Yeah, and last game, Karsa was able to exploit the red side bot lane to pick up a kill early. Going to be that much easier without a flash on the Lucian. So, going to be maybe scary. Not a whole lot of setup, though.
I think to nobody's surprise, Junji are going to be starting on this top side. Again, he just has 2 losing lanes. So getting this cleared up and moving on down to the bot side where Lucian and Nami should feel fairly strong.
Yeah, he also probably has to protect his bot lane, though Karsa might just do this red buff Raptors and then go to the enemy jungle. He does have the option to split the map if he wants to. It kind of depends on the bot lane prio. It should be Lucian Nami, but it's scary to go for prio in this lane without summoners on your ADC.
Level 1, it's definitely Aphelios favored, but
yeah,
Woody doing a really good job here of pressuring the wave. And is going to give that priority early on to Lucian. Doesn't have flash. Karsa could look for some.
Yeah, they're going to see him, though, and that is going to give Junjia the option to just go for the opposite side. Actually, Karsa going to his Raptors now. That was a nice word from PSG. They know exactly what this Zen is up to.
They're just protecting themselves, realizing that Zinzel, one of the champions that can look for level 2 ganks, depending on the skill order. Maple, he's got Prio in the mid lane, some way, somehow. It should be given back over to Gory very soon.
Yeah, sacrificed a lot of his HP.
Yeah, but second when Doran's shield is broken.
True.
Not as broken as before.
Yeah, going to be a big wave built up for Gory now, but Karsa's just gone for a full clear. So not going to be able to exploit the Lucian's flash being down this game.
Oh, nearly gets that seismic shove, but a good shuriken come out of Maple, gets him out of dodge, and he'll be all right.
Yeah. Gory goes for some vision that is spotted out by PSG.
Yeah, a rough wave state. Maple going to struggle to get these, even gets hit there. Got the...
That is terrifying. Does have TP to get back to lane. Gory very accurate with the shoves so far.
Yeah, no mana though, so it should be okay for Maple to pick up this wave and look for the recall. Junjia getting over this wall. He is going to have to wait once again for that clone to be up. It's a 14-second cooldown.
Yeah, they have so much vision in the bot lane for CFO and just the bot side in general, and I think he managed to sneak past all of it. So pretty scary for CFO, but they've got their wave in and they're going to take a base. Not the greatest base for the Aphelios, just the Kurt Cheese Shard.
The carrot. Definitely top 5 most edible items.
Yeah. Probably behind biscuits.
You think CFO taking game 2?
I think their draft is much better.
Volatile, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this Akali can take over the game.
Yeah, there's not really any lockdown for this Akali. So that can be scary if Maple's able to survive this lane and get to skirmishes. Will be the stronger champion in those skirmishes than the Talia. Obviously the weaker laner.
Yeah, if you make mistakes and give this Akali some kills, it's a disaster if you're CFO, but until the Akali is accelerated, she's not all that scary for these champions. And PSG, on the other hand, really just have a Wukong to set up this Akali. Karsa, so much stronger than the Wukong on the Xin at this point in the game that you would think this dragon is just going over to CFO.
Karsa tried to walk at the bot lane, but just perma-slowed.
Gory.
Yep, Junji might have found his way in. Seismic Shove comes out, but no scattered earth. And while not a kill, Junji finding a lot of damage onto Gory.
Maple's going to be very close to 6 now, so this is going to be scary for Gory.
Yeah, it does have sums, or flash. I think Maple might be 1 minion off. Let's see. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, in that gank, Maple had to use his E to dodge the Talia shove, so not much of a threat to Gory. Gory kills out the wave and is going to head to the Dragon. This is a very scary point in the game to fight an Akali.
Yeah, just hitting 6.
Yeah, Maple would love a fight right
still
now.
Still on level 4. That wall actually ticks him over to 5 and going to trade aggressively.
Yeah, prio for CFO's bot lane means...
It's a long-range shuriken, but Scattered Earth can come out and Maple would be getting stunned up, and it would be a very dangerous situation to be in as that Akali.
Yeah, Shroud really good against the Xin. But Talia just gets to keep hitting you. Yeah, the CFO bot lane having prio there really helps Gory out. He's able to pick up the honey fruit and get back to lane. Karsa and Junjia in a smite fight maybe.
Yeah, Gemini always wins these. Oh, Weaver's Wall coming out now. Junjia, he might be in a bit of a predicament. Flash coming through from Maple when he's found his way onto Gory. Talia will be able to proc that phase rush and try and run away, but Karsa all of a sudden, he's the target. Maple, 1 HP. The seismic shove comes through, but it's not going to connect. And here comes that Shroud. Maple!
Oh,
how the hell does he do it?
Yeah, just a couple spells going wide for Gory there, and PSG's bot lane trades very heavily while this is happening, so that even though CFO's bot lane have prio, they can't walk up to the fight there in the middle of a trade. Actually lose both sums on Shun. Traded for 2 flashes. Traded for 4 sums on the side of PSG, but 2 kills on the Akali. We were talking about this is a champ that can take over this game, and Maple is on his way to doing it.
Yeah, Maple not messing around. Sees the Weaver's Wall, just flashes it. Gets stuck in.
Yeah, and you love these fights as Akali at this point in the game. Junjia tanks just starts this fight on half HP. Karsa blocks a shuriken, and I thought this fight would just be over from that point, but it's the shove missing and the Q missing from Gory means that he's just not able to finish off Maple and at least get the 1 for 2.
Yeah, not quite. PSG, oh, they're happy. Corgi is up off his seat. Gory now. He's in no man's land, and Betty slides on in and claims himself another.
Yeah, Gory off to another rough start this game. 0-2-0 on the Talia, just going to be food for this Akali all game.
Yeah, needs to get to that Seraph's on the pronto, but not really that close. It's going to be a tower plate in a losing lane picked up here for Maple. Yeah. Hopefully we get a replay to see how Gory found himself in that situation. Cyclone's down, so you imagine... Oh, no.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to steal the Dragon. Maybe knows that Junjia's smite isn't up. Could have actually just taken it.
It comes up, gets level 6 off it, and... Yeah. Now you're in a river without a pedal.
Yeah, Gory just making a play on his own. Their bot lane wasn't coming, jungle wasn't coming.
Spam ping's coming out from someone. RJ trading fairly decently.
Yeah. Yeah, Rest's going to be fine in this lane.
He's got a Dark Seal.
Yeah, it was his first base. He just went for a straight-up Dark Seal. Maybe the stats on that helping him get through this lane, but going about how you'd expect this matchup to go. And in Game 1, we saw Aja start to pull ahead at this point in the game. Just the first strike gold really adding up and giving him item advantage.
Yeah, I think not only that, when you have the Boots of Swiftness, if you do overheat, you're able to stick to the U there and land more of those auto attacks as well.
Yeah.
I think makes a sizable difference when it comes to that trade pattern.
Yeah, Gory aware that Maple has his ulti back up now, has to play very carefully.
His head down bot, Weaver's Wall will be available, but it doesn't feel like there's any real reason why PSG should be falling for that.
Yeah, and this kill going over to Betty means he finishes his static Shiv before Shun on the Aphelios has a CS lead now, and if the Fed Akali wasn't enough for Shun to deal with, he's got to deal with a Lucian getting a free kill now too.
Both junglers here. Junjia going to find a pink ward. Doesn't feel confident enough to walk up and start hitting it, but now with Betty and Woody coming around, we'll be able to clear that out. Actually, 2 pinks being used there, minus 75.
Yeah, a little bit of an XP advantage for Betty as well as Maple.
Oh, God.
Yeah, this is horrifying. Karsa's recalled now. Junjia has ult on the Wukong.
Possibly ideal ults. I mean, the Emilio helps a lot. Shun as well has red ult, so he can get a lot of his health back. Tidal Wave isn't going to be dodged out. Shun with no summoners, and he is Absolutely one shot. Teleport now coming through. It's going to be Gory. He's not able to save his bot laner, and now he is in a predicament. Maple coming through. He's going to be taking out that tower. He does not survive. Thought maybe the perfect execution going to get him out there. Not quite. Caster now arriving. They do manage to trade one kill back. Gory picks himself up a shutdown there. On to Maple, but it is 3 kills to just the 1.
Yeah, Karsa ends up recalling and then running back to his empty bot side. He's going to have Raptors coming up now, but way too late to back up his bot lane. Didn't hang around long enough. Junjia just more patient and finally gets the play. So what happened here?
Oh, he shurikens.
Oh. So Maple gets to hold on to his TP here.
This is the first time I think I've seen this in a pro game.
Yeah. Just follows the TP with the shuriken.
Yeah, unfortunately tanks the tower.
Yeah, it looked like Gory knew what was happening too. Throws a Q at Maple as he's flying in. Trades a shutdown. I mean, that in isolation is worth it. But your bot lane just going down.
Yeah, 3-1. It's
Sword Art losing Flash as well.
Yeah. Shun's Flash will be available for himself now, and Exhaust was used. No, Barrier, sorry, was used, but didn't really make all that much of a difference.
Yeah, CFO finding themselves maybe even more behind than they were at this point last game.
Yeah, they have, I think, traded themselves into ideal lane matchups for themselves. I think Rest should be completely fine up against Maple on the Akali at this moment, at least until Lich Bane's completed. And Talia is never going to really feel the pressure of the Udyr.
Yeah, I like the Lich Bane pickup first for the Akali. Rocket Belt feels bad when it's just another dash you're going to be punished for against the Talia.
Yeah, I think there's just more damage too when you go for the Lich Bane. Looks like CFO, they're not willing to give over these Void Grubs. They do get the Scuttle Crab. PSG should be fine giving these over though. I mean, they gave them over last game. Maple's got 2 tower plates for himself in the meantime. Rest now coming to try and answer it, but honestly, you've just given Akali even more gold. Dragon as well started up here for Junjia, so that will be the second of the game. And PSG, for the second game in a row now, off to a fantastic start. I think Rest not finding as much sort of room in this Udyr matchup as RG was able to last game.
Yeah, it doesn't help that the rest of his team is just falling apart, especially Gory in the mid lane. Just having a terrible go to this game. Is going to have his Seraphs completed soon. I don't know if that's going to be enough to save him in these side lanes.
Yeah, I don't think at this point.
For now, it's Rest who's actually just suffering, having to lane against this 2-kill Akali.
Yeah, Betty and Junjia here. Rest, if he does walk up, he will almost certainly be taken out. Milio coming down and Casters in the area, so maybe with that, PSG aren't going to feel confident and just back on out of there.
Yeah, Gory for now at least is just going to be able to farm up against this Udyr and maybe have some impact in these team fights. Going to have to find some very big shoves, and Wukong is honestly looking so good this game with how immobile the side of CFO is.
Yeah, it's a really, really good Wukong game. And Junjia, again, similar to RG on the Udyr, just is seemingly uncontested the best Wukong we have in the league.
Yeah.
Playing it a lot last season as well. So obviously, you know, got those reps in.
Yeah.
Now really making it, you know, making a proof of that. Betty as well, 2-0-2 on the Lucian. He's off to a good start himself. No one really doing poorly.
Yeah, almost 30 CS up on this Aphelios. Pryo in the mid lane. Going to be Rift Herald going to PSG. Don't see a contest coming through. Again, this game just feels like Shun, please carry us on the Aphelios. If they can get him to 3 items, he can be very impactful, but PSG just have the tools to shut him down if Maple and Junjia really commit on this Aphelios
fight.
fight.
Very aggressive. A teleport coming out now of both Maple as well as Rest, but it seems like the play might just dissipate. Nice work from RG to get himself out of dodge. Oh, and a 3-man or 2-man shove. Moonlight Vigil, Woody might be going down. Not quite. The ebb and flow as well to top him up on health just that little bit. And CFO not quite getting the gold they wanted, but certainly finding the damage that may even lead to pressure over and possibly this mid lane tower. They're certainly hitting it as things stand. Maple not got any wave clear. Betty with a little bit. Junjia coming through. Seismic shove, but it's onto a clone.
Yeah, and there's the team fight impact you need from Gory. He lands a 2-man shove in that skirmish. Unfortunately, the Rumble ult was used just on the Udyr, so they're not able to capitalize on the shove from the Taliyah. There's not a whole lot of setup for that Rumble. And Maple looking for something devious onto Karsa.
He's found a Xin, who will pick up that Scuttle Crab. I don't think he's ever pressing that again. Shun, not getting all that low, although the continued damage from Phoenix Dance actually...
Yeah, I think the Nami E from Woody went onto Aja there at the end and gave him a bit of burst. Junjie didn't use his ult, neither did Karsa, so PSG with a bit of tempo now. Gonna drop the Rift Herald and look for this mid lane tower.
All right.
Rest, it doesn't have ulti yet.
Forklift check. Yeah, no, this guy's a forklift license. Yeah, for sure. That's mid lane tower gone. Arja doing about all Udyr can. Sprints at someone, stuns them. It is going to be answered with that Xin Zhao ultimate. And so, a big cooldown is going to be used, but it doesn't really feel like PSG have much more to do now. Maybe push in this wave, looks for some recalls.
Yeah, another ultimate down for CFO. And yeah, PSG through all that somehow get the mid tower with the help of the Rift Herald. 2 items now for Betty. I don't think Shun's going to have a full item on this next recall.
Yeah, I also wonder what he'll go as that second item. I mean, we used to see Kraken Slayer or Storm Razor into the IE.
Yeah, maybe just an IE.
Yeah, it does feel like you might need to. Yeah, with the pickaxe, almost certainly will be.
Oh God, just a pickaxe. I mean, I was sure he wasn't getting a full item, but just the pickaxe feels horrible.
Yeah, down 4 KP, down first strike gold, and down 30 CS.
Yeah.
There is a sizable difference in the amount of gold these 280 carries have.
Yeah.
Corey is going for second item Crypt Bloom, which you honestly just have to because this Udyr is going to be impossible to get through until Shun has a couple items online.
Yeah,
at
as
this
well
stage,
as
Shun's never killing.
with how behind he is, he might not. It might take him a very long time to get to 3 items. So just get Pen as your second item. Make sure you have it for later in the game. He's not going to be getting all that much farm this game either. Has to be constantly worried about this Akali and Wukong.
Dragon number 3 now, spawning 15 seconds. Wave priority mid at the moment in favor of CFO, but Maple pushing out that bot lane. Another minion wave going to be lost. And maybe even this tower getting awfully low down there. But Maple now sitting in this river. It's going to be hard for CFO to claim it back. Nice trade in the mid wave. This cozy campfire will top Shun up just a little bit. So honestly, the damage not really meaning all that much after which, but still, it is just constant first strike trades where Betty's going to be feeling good about sort of getting this money for free.
Yeah, Karsa levels up to 11 just before the dragon spawns. That's going to be nice. Maple's on a flank. They don't have all that much to punish the Akali flank.
Will be spotted. And so with that seemingly going to be backing off. Rest also just marking now this Maple.
Yeah, risky fight for Rest. I'm not sure he wins Karsa though.
Junjie finds Karsa. RJ pops the Ghost. Nitrous is absolutely going mental. Equalizer comes through. Not really finding all that much value. A bit of damage onto Junjie. But with that, Xin Zhao ult used as well as the Equalizer. This should be Dragon number 3 and now Soul Point for this Infernal Soul for PSG. Junjie is soloing it at the moment. Karsa getting aggressive. Culling's going to be here to answer. Bit of shielding from Sword Art means that he is going to be okay. Dragon not really getting all that low as it is only Junjie who has been hitting it. Nice Q there coming through.
Yeah, too hard to contest now that you've used the Equalizer and the Xin ult. 2 of your very high impact team fight ults, and PSG still want to fight.
Yeah, Maple's on a flank. The Scattered Earth has to be perfect out of Gory. This team fight has to be perfect out of CFO.
Yeah, scary to take that fight without the Wukong ult. It's essentially your only team fight ult on the side of PSG. So they decide to not go for it, and CFO need to find a way to get Shun some gold. He really is their hope in this game, and he is so behind.
Yeah, Rish no slouch. Shuriken will connect, but Maple almost never going to look for that trade into the Rumble. Very, very scary Rumble.
Yeah, we've seen Rumble one-shot Udyr and Cassante. I don't think he'll have too much trouble taking down an Akali.
Is going to struggle to get the auto attacks off, but
yeah.
Okay. I mean, pace of the game certainly slowed down, but PSG, they're just edging further and further ahead. Currently sitting at about 4K, and honestly, 3.5 minutes away from what could be their soul, and it's only 20 minutes in.
Yeah,
they finished in 25 last game.
Yeah,
on pace to do something similar.
You'd feel a lot better about the pace of the game if you picked up a dragon on CFO. I'm not sure if they even picked up a dragon last game, but no dragons this game. Yeah, no, they didn't. They traded for void grubs. This time, just one void grub. 6. They have all 6, but I don't know if I've seen them really hit towers. They've picked up the mid lane tower.
Speaking of picking up towers, Maple will do just that down the bot side.
Yep. Junjie level up, starting up this red buff. Scary fight for PSG, honestly, against the Rumble.
Yeah, it's after 20 minutes, so this red buff going to be empowering the entire team, not just 1 or 2 members. Smite fight is won by Karsa.
Yeah, nice smite by Karsa. Big team fight. Team-wide buff now, so does matter a lot more than it usually would. Or it used to, sorry. Now, Shun has nice guns for making a pick if CFO want to look for something.
Yeah, is about to have the Infernum. Yeah.
For the long-range snipe so that he can follow up with a stun or a snare. And they're looking, but nothing connects. Junjie.
Yeah, and instead Junjie is going to look. 3-man is found. Equalizer comes through to try and deny some more of that damage. Junjie now very low and shut down. In fact, going over to Shun, who's getting very aggressive. Maple's found his way, though, onto the Aphelios. This is a 2-for-1 in favor of CFO. Maple, though, he is being so annoying in that Shroud. He finds a second. RG very low. Going to stun up Karsa, try and run away, but won't be able to do so. And that's a double kill for Gory as CFO take the team fight. Shutdowns across the board. And it is going to be a 3-for-2 as they charge down this mid wave.
Shun and Rest doing so much damage in that fight. This one item Aphelios looked like he just one-shot Betty. That fight ends with, I mean, Maple uses everything to take out Shun, and they managed to kill Rest as well. But Karsa's full HP in those late portions of a team fight, a full HP Xin with Emilio behind him too is just always going to win. And I mean, it looked like a nice engage from Junjie, but there's not a whole lot of follow-up to this engage. And then watch Betty just get one-tapped here. The ulti misses as well from Shun, but I mean, he just almost goes down in one hit. Gory cleans him up. Maple does a good job of finding the kill onto the Aphelios and the Rumble too, but Karsa on the Xin is massive at this point, and Gory's full HP. Signs of life for CFO.
Yep, down but not out. Brought this gold lead back to just 2K. 50 seconds now on this Infernal Dragon.
Yeah,
no flash for Betty, Maple, and Junjie.
Just the supports with flashes up at this point.
Yeah, Karsa as well.
Oh, yeah, that actually could be a big deal in these fights. To have the Xin flash.
Yeah, and IE completed. It is 3 items for Betty now, so if he is able to have some uptime in these fights, should be the strongest champion on the Rift alongside maybe Maple.
Yeah, somehow Shun just has so much damage on this Aphelios already, though.
And look at that gold. That is a disgusting lead for the Lucian.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't matter if you're able to just eliminate him, as CFO were able to do. Bit of damage coming through. Culling as well going to be used as Karsa getting so low. Through comes that tidal wave. It'll land onto 3. Junjie, is he going to look for the follow-up? No, they will not. They're going to keep that Cyclone, maybe needing it for this Dragon fight as Maple's found himself on a flank. Betty, he's looking to trade aggressively out of this bush. Is just going to land that one auto attack, which is now Karsa down to 8.5 HP.
Yeah, so much damage on the solution at this point. CFO have to find a clean engage, but they
Maple
don't have
is
the
on
tools.
a flank. Rest is now 1 HP. Maple can just slide on in there. I'm not sure if Zhonya's or Seekers is on this Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. Not all that much gold for the side of CFO. They're going to find Maple now. And this is going to be very scary. How do you navigate this? Maybe the Weaver's Wall coming through. RG now is going to be separated for the rest of the team. Equalizer through. Equalizer does miss, and it's going to be Junjie picking up the Dragon. Maple now, he's in the middle of 4, as is RG. Very low on this. Wow, just gets eliminated. In the meanwhile, though, RG getting low. They're not going to go down, though, and Betty, he's got that uptime we were talking about. It's a triple kill. It's going to be a Junjie picking up that 4th onto Gory as Constant dashes forward. It is 1 Milio against 4 members of PSG. And I'll take those odds for PSG every single time. Team fight win. Junjia with the smite. And now Baron should be picked up for PSG.
Yeah, it feels like once the solution came online for PSG, there's no engage on the side of CFO, so they're just constantly losing HP to these trades from the Lucian, and they end up just trying to use Rumble ult as engage. Talia ult blocking off Aja from getting into the fight kind of made them feel like they should fight now while they're 4v5, but their only engage is just an equalizer, which comes out here.
Yeah, misses. Seismic shove misses.
Yeah, they try to do some terrain control there, but and nice damage out from Shun and Rest to take out Maple, but that's the only kill they get. And then Gory's cleaned up by Junjia.
Oh. Bonked on the head.
Yeah,
Oh.
Betty on the Lucian looking very good this
This is an
game.
ugly 4th item collector.
Yeah, I don't love that.
No, I think that item sucks if you're pretty much ever building it. But 4th, why not just get Armor Pen?
Yeah, you may
It's
as well
not the
be.
most impactful right now, but
Yeah, or just a Bloodthirster if you don't need the armor pen.
yeah, Bloodthirster, Shield Bow even. Give you a little bit more survivability. We saw how quickly he can, in theory, be taken out. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, he is going for that collector, and it is going to be this equalizer coming through, but tower should be picked up and was by PSG.
Yeah, and it already felt like the Lucian poke was oppressive for CFO's comp. Now he's got an Infernal Dragon as well. And you have to find a
Oh,
clean
it was
engage.
a Serpent's Fang. Actually, I like that, actually. Everything I said, I take it back.
Yeah, it's going to be nice against Milio, I guess the Seraphs and the Rumble Shields.
Yeah, no, there's just a lot of shielding going on. Sterix as well. There are
Okay.
just 5 shield champions.
Yeah, it feels like he's their main source of damage at this point, but I don't hate it. It's a very cheap item, and maybe they're planning to end the game off this next push.
He's their main source of damage, but he's also going to be able to apply this Serpent's Fang against 5 members who will have shields. So I like it. I think that was really smart, and I certainly take back what I said thinking it was a collector, but good itemization through from Betty. As PSG now going to be pressuring down this bottom inner tower. Sword Art getting very, very aggressive in that jungle, but won't really be able to find much. Now, how much do PSG believe in themselves? Do we ever see a dive? We've seen them do it before when they know they're ahead. They're a team that can pick their battles fairly well. Rest, though, he does flash away, so the Shuriken from Maple won't connect. It's a flash of Flash. Gory now. Oh, and Shun might just be going down. Betty just needs to find one auto attack. Even a static Shiv proc should finish off that kill. The Cozy Campfire, though, the speed up coming through from Sword Art gets Shun out of there, but god damn, Betty is doing some damage.
Yeah, Betty is just 1v9 at this point. It is so easy to play against this comp from PSG.
Oh
very
my.
close to going down there.
Yeah, Gory almost finding it. If he finds a seismic shove like that, it can be game-changing.
Yeah, and Karsus had to use his ulti defensively for the 2nd time recently just to block these Lucian ults. And yeah, I don't know how you're going to find this clean engage onto Betty. Last time Karsa managed to do it on the Rel. But Rel going to have a much easier time. I mean,
Okay, Equalizer, Woody just flashing away.
Yep, Nami flash pretty inconsequential.
Yeah. Obviously, having that extra safety to empower Betty for longer feels good, but if you're targeting the Nami in a fight, you're probably losing it at this stage. There's just so much damage coming through from Betty and Maple, even Junjia.
Yeah, I think if you're CFO, you have to commit everything for a clean kill onto Betty, and then maybe you can deal with this Akali without losing all your members. Udyr shouldn't be a problem once you've taken out the solution. It's just going to be the rest of PSG, whether they can clean up a fight or not, and whether CFO can actually kill the Lucian in the first place. They do not have the best comp to do it.
No, absolutely not. Now, a minute 30 on the Elder Dragon. If there's a fight to break out, I mean, it's almost a full build Lucian versus just the nearly 3 items Aphelios. You're taking Lucian 10 times out of 10 in this scenario.
Yeah, not the highest DPS Lucian build, so once Shun is at 3 items versus 4, it's not as bad as it normally would be. Rest in trouble though, no flash.
Yeah, I'm just going to get slowed up. No one really coming through.
Yeah.
Maple looking for that reset. See what he can pick up if there is any big components. Maybe even just picking up that blue pot might be nice. Seeker's Arm Guard, definitely like that.
There is kind of a wombo combo for CFO. It's just they have all the damage for a big team fight, but they don't really have the crowd control to set it up, right? They've got Aphelios ulti, Taliyah AoE, Rumble ulti, but just nothing to actually set them up.
Yeah.
There are a lot of melee champs on the side of PSG, so they're hoping, you know, to find them clumped up, but when you're in a situation now where you have to kill this Lucian, you know, all that AoE is probably just going on one guy.
Yeah, and with no lockdown as well as, yeah, they're melee champs, but Maple is yet to start a fight with his team.
Yeah, he's
just
nowhere
sitting
near his team.
somewhere in the fog of war.
Yeah, Junjie looking pretty scary on the Wukong now, 2 GA for him.
Elder Dragon now spawning. There is a wave crashing at that top lane inhibitor tower.
And this CFO have to just start a fight because they will get poked by this Lucian again if they don't make this quick.
Yeah, Aphelios does do these objectives extremely fast. Teleport now coming through Maple onto that bot side. Gory all of a sudden is at 1 HP, as is Kasa. And Arjer's doing what Arjer does on this champion. Weaver's Wall gets out Gory, but Betty's flashing forward. Betty's just taking over everyone. It's going to be the double, maybe even the triple, and make it the clean ace as PSG take game number 2, and they are going to be one more game away from our grand final.
Yeah, CFO have 4 flashes up. They just never even get a chance. 7,000 damage for Betty on the Lucian. No one else on CFO. No one on CFO really got to do anything that fight. Rest managed to get his ult off. And that was about it. They just went down too easy for PSG. Game 2 and game 1.
Yeah, PSG now, one more game is all they need. And Betty in that last team fight doing more damage than the entirety of CFO put together.
Yeah, by a wide margin by the look of it.
Oh my god! Oh, that was close.
Yeah, you see how much damage Shun can do? There's not much crowd control to carry on, but if you had a little bit of support in these fights, it was possible.
And it was PSG picking up that last kill onto Shun as it looked like he was going to take down 3 of them. It was damn close.
Yeah, that should save the damage graph a bit for Shun at the end there.
Yep, definitely. That was like an extra 5,000 to the total for fun.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Should bring his damage total up. And I mean, the story of this early game was just Gory kind of getting destroyed along with Karsa, just the 2v2 from PSG. Junjie just doesn't seem to lose a 2v2.
Yeah,
and whichever lane he goes
crazy,
to.
though. That was so close.
Yeah, and it looked like such a bad start. Akali is very strong at level 6, but Junjie starts that at half HP, trading no damage back onto the Xin that you thought they were just suiciding. But Junjie manages to kite out, dodge everything that comes out from Gory. Maple doing the same, lives on 1 HP.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah. And I think that really is the tale of sort of how this Akali-Taliyah matchup goes in many ways. Yes, Gory could have played it cleaner. One more ability landing, and he probably picks up both those kills. But the Akali in these skirmishes is just always going to be more impactful than the Taliyah.
Yeah.
Both of these champs started at about half HP. Both Junjie and Maple were not full HP. Maybe Maple was close to. But being able to just jump in there and pretty much 100-0 2 people from about half HP was just the difference that you get between a level 6 Akali versus a level 6 Taliyah.
Yeah, and it was so weird to me that CFO were just looking so aggressively for fights in the river. It felt like the moment Maple hit 6, I guess they were playing around their Taliyah 6 as well, but I mean, that is such a bailout if you're the Akali who's still got a bit of getting shoved in to get through in that lane at that point. Once you're 6, you can't just 100-0 the Taliyah really, as long as Gory plays it safely enough. He can still just shove and out-rotate you to the side lanes, but if you can get a river fight the moment you hit 6 while Taliyah's sitting on a Sapphire Crystal and a tier, that is a dream come true.
Yeah, I think one thing we should mention as well, it went a little bit untouched during that game, but Arjer doing a way better job into the Rumble than what was the opposite of the matchup in the last game. Just surviving, he actually had shove the entirety of that lane. Just never once was he really pushed into his tower. And in game number 1, when we saw Arjer on the Rumble rest on the Udyr, it was the opposite.
I think that was a couple of things. So Arjer just got to go for the Rookern because it was double AP solo lanes on the other side. So we didn't have to worry about armor for a while on the Udyr, as well as Rest just kind of had to match lanes later on in the game against this 2-0 Akali, rather than getting to maybe push it at advantage. Every time I saw this Taliyah laning against the Udyr, it's better than having her just die to the Akali in the side lane, but she's just trading with this Udyr, and I'm thinking that could be for a strike. Right now. She's just chunking this Udyr for a corridor of 30% of his HP.
That is one thing I also wondered, is because you're into the Akali, so later on in the game it gets scary. But you are so easily able to just continuously proc first strike against it that later on, if you are against the Udyr, you can do the exact same.
Yeah.
And you might have just found yourself with more gold on this
the
Taliyah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Taliyah, if you know, Gory had taken first strike, because honestly, the face rush didn't seem to ever matter during this game. And yes, that is a result on the early skirmish, but maybe if you had the first strike, just being able to farm gold off hitting an Udyr, off hitting an Akali, might have pushed you over the line. I mean, we saw how much gold Betty had. It was obviously a result of kills and CS, but he was constantly proccing this first strike the entirety of the game. Yep, static shift helps you do that, but it was just... I mean, we saw when the gold was shown halfway through this game that Betty was about 2,000 gold ahead of the next closest person
Massive
in CFO.
Advantage. And Karsa unfortunately doesn't steal the Infernal. Game's over at this point. They tried to engage with Rumble ult, which you're just hoping Betty doesn't have his E key bound, but he does just dash away from the Rumble ulti, and then your engage is over, and maybe your best team fight ult is gone as well.
And wow.
Yeah, Betty almost did more damage than his team combined that game.
Yeah, that's insane damage stats. Now, maybe this, looking forward to Game 3, most likely will be blue side again for CFO. This time they took the Rumble to take it away from PSG, but this Lucian needs some looking at. Because we're banning Kalista, we're banning Varus, and so far, PSG have just happily first, second Lucian Nami, and they've done that before this iteration. They've done that way before this, and
with the Millia Lucian.
Yeah, the Millia Lucian, they've done the Lucian Nami as well, and you have to start thinking, well, Shun is a fantastic Lucian player. We could just take the Lucian first here.
Yeah.
The Rumble ultimately for Arjit was impactful because of those big ults, but was it as impactful as Betty has been in this game? Probably not.
Well, you're letting them take first rotation Lucian, and then you're ending up with a comp that's not good into the Lucian, a lane that doesn't beat the Lucian, so I don't really understand the draft from CFO.
Yeah. Well,
Once this Lucian got going, what do you do to it? You just hope you have enough damage on the rest of the team.
That is the hard part, of course, is trying to slow down this Lucian. You can win lane level 1. Milio Aphelios will be stronger than the Lucian Nami at level 1 just by virtue of having more range and Milio offering some extra damage in those trades.
Yeah.
But you see it here. It didn't really matter. Betty just picking up the most of everything except damage taken, which is the spot reserved for our junglers pretty much 90% of the time. Key matchup is that bot lane. It is going to be Betty picking up the MVP. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, he played flawlessly.
Shun had a decent game. It doesn't help that he's going even in a lane, and then the Lucian just walks up, River picks up a kill. Onto Gory.
On Gory,
And yeah, we're going to need to see a bit more from Gory if CFO are going to be competitive in this lane. He's just started both games 0-3 at this point. I think he got to counter game 1 and got countered that game. No difference in effect. And Karsa here not staying around long enough to protect his bot lane. And ends up just walking down again. Gory, I do hate a TP to the weak side, you know, down numbers. Especially when it's so late, but it ends up being okay. He's so behind this game, he ends up trading a kill back onto Maple, which
only just
is favorable for him.
And if anyone had have hit Gory before Maple got there, then I think Nobody goes down as well, which is the problem, right? Is that PSG kind of played that a little wrong. You'd have to say Woody needed to auto attack first or something to get the tower aggro. Then you could juggle it, so Junjie could tank a little bit. Maple comes in, he's not immediately tanking it from low HP, and that way no one really has to die. They do pick up 1 kill, but again, as we've said many times before, this teleporting to the weak side, if it is a clear angle where you are going to save someone, by all means do it.
9 times out of 10 it looks exactly like that.
I mean, I think the Antic game was the best example, right? During the game, when I saw that happen, it really did give me flashbacks to Ryoma teleporting to the top lane and kind of exactly this happening. And when you're just giving over 3 kills for 1 in return, especially to such a strong and aggressive team composition, it is never going to look very good. But CFO, they're not out just yet. They still have another game coming up. If they do win it, we can go to 5. So we'll see you very shortly.
Baby, won't you dance with me? You gon' buy me a diamond, so jump on it. Come on, I know you want it. Raise them glasses to the sky. It's our time, we own the night. We got tonight to be happy. Let's take our time and be happy. Come on, baby, won't you dance with me? Say, ooh la la, I like the way you feel. Ooh la la.
Welcome back, everybody. In a one-sided affair currently in the series as PSG do take the lead and head into match point 2-0. And CFO, they're a very strong team, but it's their turn to really prove to us that they can bounce back in these high-stake moments. And of course, it's all brought to you once again by the Grand Halai Taipei, who have kindly bought us our PCS playoffs and allowed us to see such titans of the game go head-to-head against each other. Now, Lo, tell me, what do we need to see in this next draft to really have some faith in what CFO can do?
Yeah, I think CFO need to just start respecting the Lucian. We were talking about this a bit during the break. It's just destroying them. It's the type of draft where once PSG see you destroy them on a champ like that, you're never getting to play it for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
And that's
as
where,
we saw like BYG.
Yeah, Beyond actually won a game against PSG with the Lucian, and they never got it ever again. And our other teams just seem to not be willing to take that approach to draft. I don't want to say it's ego, but it's kind of ego, just because there is no pick into the solution that they've looked remotely good onto. They've even resorted to the Aphelios. If they really thought the Zeri was good, then they would have played it again.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out game one, and they're just throwing stuff at it, seeing if they can outscale, and it just hasn't been working at all. Maybe prioritize picking later for Gory so he can get a favorable matchup again. Like he did with the Yasuo, he had a lead and then Karsa kind of threw his lane in game one, and it's just been in the mid 2v2, mid jungle 2v2. They're just getting destroyed by Junjia and Maple, and I don't know how you can draft your way out of that. They're just getting diffed.
Absolutely. Starts off with a Vi ban, perhaps the same Sejuani ban coming through here. So the draft is already looking different. They've dropped the Nautilus currently.
I think that is the ban to drop if you're dropping anything. It ends up meaning if you play the Lucian, you're going to have to play it into a Nautilus.
Yeah, probably Senna Nautilus.
Which is a bit depressing. And if you trade hyper carries, you're giving the enemy team a Nautilus if they want it, which makes dealing with your hyper carry a whole lot easier.
Oh,
but they may just ban the Lucian.
Different from PSG so far too, with the Kalista second ban. It was Karma. Okay, so Lucian ban. CFO, they are just willing to now drop that Nautilus, ban the Lucian. Does this mean we're going to get Karma banned? Does it mean we're perhaps going to get... Oh, I don't know.
I don't think you leave the Karma up, but the problem is if you ban it, they pick Rumble. What can you respond with that feels as impactful? So they might have to leave the Karma up, but if you're trading Karma for Rumble, you don't feel that good either. You love being Karma into Rumble. Equalizer traded for RE.
Okay, so this is just going to be the Rumble again. PSG. Oh, the Jace could be interesting.
Yeah, we were kind of expecting more Jace going into playoffs after he got some buffs and was getting a lot of play in the LGL. Haven't seen much of it.
It is a flex. Maple very good at the Jace.
Oh yeah, of course, the Nautilus.
Yeah, the Nautilus open. Nautilus will just be picked. Senna could be picked alongside to pair with it, or maybe you're just happy with Betty playing one of these more hyper carry AD carries, which, I mean, so far this series, he has been getting the job done.
And Ari just not making an appearance this series at all, after it seemed like the champion of this playoff so far. Now, will they just pick a jungler? I think you maybe want to take Rel away. It's going to be the Talia.
Well, that's good setup.
Yeah, Rel,
now,
I think Trist.
Yeah, CFO have a really good setup for themselves now for that Rumble.
Yeah, Rel Trist makes a lot of sense here. We've seen Trist into the Talia before. I'm not really sure why you take it into the Talia. It hasn't looked all that great, but it is a nice mix of damage with the Rumble.
It's just the sort of goes even in lane, better in the long lane outside. Might just be the Senna for Betty.
Yep, this is what you give up. Senna Nautilus, very strong bot lane combo, and you're not going to have anything that feels as nice as the Senna Nautilus, but the top side for CFO, they've really set themselves up for success this time around.
Yeah, and it's a lane that Gory shouldn't ever be dying in either.
Yeah.
Obviously the last two games, going down pretty handedly.
Yeah, just dying 2 or 3 times before the 10-minute mark, both games. And you just got to figure out how to navigate these early games as CFO. You can't just be losing these mid-lane 2v2s so hard. Tristana Rel should be fine.
Yeah, and you have the Rel with the Rumble this time, so it actually is a little bit of setup for your Rumble ult.
Yeah.
Which they were definitely lacking last game. Rakan ban coming through. This could be Rel support. Kasa already playing one game of Rel, though. It does suggest that we're likely to see it there in the jungle.
Yeah, apart from that slip-up early game, he looked okay on the Rel. Found a nice engage onto Betty, just too little too late at that point. They did finish off Betty, but they
lost their entire team
yeah,
for
5 for it. Wukong banned away. Pretty reasonable.
Pretty good ban into Jinji at this point.
Yeah, he's just the only guy that plays it and always gets results with the Wukong.
See what we look for here. Final ban to come through. It is Smolder.
Yeah, that I actually like that ban a lot. Smolder can get away with how weak his early game is against the Senna Nautilus. You don't mind how much wave clear they've got, as long as you can stay out of these Nautilus hooks. Just weather the storm, and being able to take TP is a big deal on Smolder too.
Yeah, which of course in this lane you are more than capable of doing. So Viego going to be banned up against Jinjia here as our final ban to come through. Top lane and jungle still yet to be picked here, unless this is Talia.
Yeah, looks like a good Xin game for Jinjia here. Can just avoid a lot of the damage coming from Gorian Rest.
You'll see if he goes for it.
Should be fine into the Rel early game. Should get advantages that way. Yeah, I like that pick. And now you've just got to find some bot lane that's going to have some kind of impact for CFO. That probably just comes down to preference. You can pick this area, I guess, and just accept that you are getting Nautilus ulted and dying in a lot of these fights.
Maybe the Kai-Wing special. Looks like it will be.
Yeah,
so Gragas picked up here for Sword Art. Unless it's jungle and Rel's going support, in theory, can happen.
Yeah,
Not
we'll
really
see
what
how
we
they
expect.
lane it. Yeah, I'm surprised to see the Gragas support. Should be quite good into Senna. Can peel the Xin.
Maybe just the Udyr once more for Aja.
Yeah, went a lot better for Aja than it did for Rest, so should be happy to take this matchup. Just go even. He didn't honestly have all that much impact on the Udyr in the last game.
We do now have our team comps, and it looks like it will be Gragas possibly in the jungle here for CFO. Getting that Rel into Nautilus.
Okay.
I like it.
I feel like CFO have set themselves up for success in this game. I said that about last game too, and
some tragedies occurred.
yeah, last game they really just had one lost con, and it was the Sakali getting a lead, and they managed to give Maple a lead the moment he hit level 6. This game much more even in the draft though. PSG with kind of the kind of draft we've been seeing all split, and it's a very strong draft.
Yeah, and CFO, they do just ban out that Lucian, so it's going to be a completely different look for Betty. Going from Lucian to now Senna.
Yeah, I worry that PSG might just be lacking damage in this draft.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, kind of right, but you can just end up finding that the CC they have is enough.
Yeah, from ahead, this kind of draft from PSG is impossible to play against. They have so much crowd control. And a Xin and a Xin that can just incessantly go in and skirmish.
And there's no one that tanky against them.
Yeah.
I mean, Gragas and Rel will be annoying.
Yeah, I think if they find themselves behind, though, they're just going to be crowd controlling targets and not able to finish these kills.
Yeah, they also have the
Parsa
Nautilus against Zeri, which always feels pretty good.
Dark Harvest Gragas.
All right, we're getting AP.
That is psychotic.
I respect it.
Yeah, don't know if that really gives them the 2v2. Still going to be an even 2v2, I think.
Oh my god, he's even got sudden impact.
Yeah. Could be a very scary Gragas. Now, what is the AP Gragas build? Doesn't seem like Roa in the jungle.
Well, in my solo queue games,
yeah,
they tend to go things like Lichbane and Storm Surge. I'm not sure how good those will be in a professional game of League of Legends, but...
Yeah. Storm Surge, I think, just sucks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is competing with worst item alongside Dawn Core, is it?
Oh, right.
Yeah, we haven't even seen that item yet.
Yeah, and I doubt we will, unless it gets some changes.
Yeah, unless Ivern's picked. It does actually synergize with Ivern really well.
Yeah, Karsa has an Ivern game under his belt. Karsa will be starting bot side. It is too scary to start up against Aja in the top side. He's always looking for invades on the Udyr.
Yeah, and expecting a slow start, I think, once again.
Yeah. I think a slow game just favors CFO. If they can get some pressure with this Tristana, get some items on the Zeri. And not a slow start for Rest, who loses half of his HP. For daring to be in lane with Udyr. No Rek'Sai yet, but I don't think it means that these top laners can't play the Rek'Sai. I think just having the option to go for Rumble, if you can play it and build a comp around it, has been just such a strong pick that you're going to take that over anything.
Yeah, you probably don't want Rek'Sai into Rumble because Rumble can just rush an Oblivion Orb.
Yeah.
And just run at you.
Yeah, Rek'Sai, big strength is that he can just out-sustain a lot of these melee bruiser
Oh, just
champs.
everything. It's ridiculous.
Pretty difficult to sustain up against the Rumble.
In my Rek'Sai solo queue game that I was talking about yesterday, by the end of it, about 30-minute long game, 50,000 health healed.
Yeah, yeah.
An obscene number. Now, skirmishes this time should feel pretty good for CFO. The Gragas alongside the Tristana should have a lot of burst, can really take down Maple. As well as Maple's probably going to be looking for that Tear of the Goddess, as we do come to expect from Taliyah.
Rest has managed to hold his wave right in front of the tower. That should be pretty good for him. Junjia on his way up here, though, has to be careful for a dive. And here we're going to see Junjia and Aja pairing up for this crab. Karsa's going to see them. And they're actually just going to get out of there. I'm surprised they don't go for this fight.
Yeah, I think it's just a Tristana. You don't want to fight.
Yeah, a bit of discipline, and Karsa might just be able to grab both crabs. His bot lane has massive priority as well.
Yeah, shit on the recall, but... Ping's actually coming down here by Junjia, but Karsa is going to be well and truly get to this crab. He has Smite. This is 100% of the time his, especially with his bot lane now coming and guarding him.
Yeah, pretty good to deny this farm away from the Xin. Can be a very impactful game champion in this game. Just because of how much range damage you'll have. Sword Art has to be careful.
Yeah, it's going to get knocked up here after the root, and this should be first blood going over.
Yeah,
it is. Junjia taking that one for himself.
Another early game mistake from CFO. Sword Art just way overextended without his jungler anywhere near him or his ADC. Shun is going to be punished for that. Has to just completely back off the wave now.
Yeah. So PSG off to a good start.
Yeah, so Karsa is recalling here. Sword Art is going for this ward. And they are spam pinging full back onto Sword Art, who actually just walks forward into a Xin. Yeah, Sword Art was essentially pinging on the map. Not Sword Art, but I assume it was Karsa, was full back pinging exactly where Junjia was. Like, on top of his head without any vision. Which is kind of impressive.
Oh, nice buffer, yeah. That could have been definitely a lost flash, you'd presume.
Yeah, I bet he can follow up with a snare on the Senna, and this is what we see good Senna teams doing with the Senna Nautilus combo. You just go lane somewhere else. Senna doesn't really care who she's laning with, and whoever you feel like you can punish by giving one of your solo laners complete prio. Just send the center there.
Oh, equalizer coming out top. And RJ able to just walk on out of there, trading auto attacks, but Ghost popped. And RJ now getting aggressive onto Rest. Weaver's wall coming out as well. That's a flash. Seismic Shove will not connect. Rest running down now to his jungler. Caster being in the area is going to save the life of that Rumble. Very close call.
Yeah, PSG winning both sides of the map there. I mean, Karsa does pick up the grubs again, which they do seem to be prioritizing over these dragons, but to pick up the dragon and have the Talia ult used top is a massive win for PSG.
They're getting out flash from Rest. Teleport as well. Going to have to be committed here to get back to his lane. RJ will almost certainly be matching that teleport after his recall.
Yeah, Gory not able to get a plate or much of a CS lead going while Maple roams.
Getting aggressive once again. Seismic Shove will not quite connect.
Yep, nice moves from Gory. You can't really trade that hard onto the Talia though. Is going to get a Demolish proc? Not quite.
Yeah, it's too scary to stand in range.
Yeah, going to be appreciating the Void Grubs on the Tristana this game at the very least. As well as the Zeri, if the center roams too much, you can't just pick up a lot of plates against this Nautilus, especially before he's finished his Hollow Radiance.
Oh.
You don't have your flash, so Junjia is in your lane.
Yeah, Junjia has his flash. Rest trying to run away. That's the shield used. Movement speed now going to be gone. One auto attack, two auto attacks, and a third auto attack for that knock up. They can look for the dive here, and they will. Rest is taken out. No worries whatsoever. And Junjia once again being so proactive on the map. Flash, body slam. Maple is an absolute goner.
Yeah.
As Gory's going to be the benefactor of that well-timed gank from Karsa.
Yeah, very clean from Karsa. Justifying the Gragas so far. Maple does have his flash up there, but it's so hard to react to a Gragas flashing at you out of fog.
Yeah, what he going for the hook and getting a very good trade for himself as Betty. He is quietly just up here 1v2 in the face of CFO and feeling no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah,
two
no
tower
spells
plates
up.
now for Gory.
No spells up for Sword Dart means Betty can get a nice trade onto Shun. Is very accurate with these Senna Ws as well.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep, another nice trade for Betty.
Yeah, just constantly getting these souls. 30 is what he's at currently. Not a bad total.
Yeah, I don't see these ADCs prioritizing Senna souls. Cleanse is up for Betty, so Sword Art has flash and will be 6 soon, hopefully, but hard to find a go onto the Senna without some help from Karsa, who doesn't have flash or ulti at the moment. Kind of emboldening PSG's bot lane to play as aggressively as they have been, even though their jungler is not on their side of the map.
Junjia skipping out on the bush means he won't locate the pink ward that is currently sat in there, and tower plate down bot goes over to PSG, sorry.
Yeah, and yeah, we were worried about this Xin being starved of gold this game. Has 2 kills now, so nothing to worry about.
And that's a nice trade for Maple. Even gets another threaded volley in there. And
yeah, disaster trade for Gory. Does not have TP, but has killed the whole wave, so he can recall if he wants to.
Uh-oh, Rest still not got that flash back. Stunned up, Ghost coming through, Dawning Shadow, and this Rumble's absolutely gone. He manages to get the equalizer off, should clear out this wave at least.
Yep.
1 minion survives, but it is just more gold now going over to Junjia. He's 3-0 on this Xin.
Yeah, Russ
Making
kind of
light
stuck playing a weak side Rumble. Karsa up a level though. Doing pretty well on the Gragas. Just, I mean, no angles for him except for Maple, right? Who, now that Karsa doesn't have flash, it's a lot harder to get onto anyone.
It's either Storm Surge or Lich Bane with the current items.
Yeah.
Now,
Karsa's
Void Grubs, they're going to
out.
pick up 2. They're not going to care about this last one. Karsa can get that one. That's going to be 4, the total for CFO.
Yeah, 4 a lot less impactful than 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So you're fine with that as PSG. Don't risk the fight.
Yeah, I mean, the last games have been giving over 6, so...
Yeah, and it hasn't mattered at all.
Yeah. Teleport now, bot side. It's going to be Maple turning up. There is a dragon spawning in 30 seconds, and PSG They've been extremely active on the map for those dragons. We'll see if they once again do it. Recalls are coming through, 20 seconds until spawn, so you have to think they are all going to path out to the mid and bot side of the map to compete over this Cloud Dragon.
Shun should have his static shiv now. Yeah, he does finish it. He doesn't have boots, so it might be a little hard to navigate this dragon fight, but if you're CFO, you have to start fighting for these dragons. They've given up so many dragons already this series. Puts them in really difficult spots. Later in the game, Karsa has his Lich Bane finished up.
Yeah, and
so
RG's just going to join for this fight. Rest will have teleport available for himself, so he can get down here.
Karsa won't quite have his flash up, otherwise Betty would have to be very worried about this Gragas. And I just don't think they're in time for this. Rest is going to pick up some plates, which should help him get back into this lane.
Yeah, but Dragon number 2, and it's the Infernal Soul for the second game in a row.
Yeah, either team is going to love to get that.
Lich Bane was the pickup for Karsa, so very, very high in damage now, and spiking he is on the Gragas.
Yeah, and if I'm a Lich Bane Gragas in this game, I think I'm eyeing up this Senna right now. Flash is up now for Karsa. Gotta be very careful if you're Betty.
Yeah, Betty is the far and beyond fastest reactor that I've ever seen in terms of the PCS, so honestly, feels like the kind of guy who will just react flash to your flash 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, CFO fishing for something, but not a whole lot of reasons for PSG to walk into the side of the river, so they won't end up finding anything. Just a little slow on their timing. This could have been a good fight for this dragon. Karsa flash, Sword Art flash, level 6 on both. Oh, 8 on Karsa, but they get an item completed now on Gory. And they get him into a side lane against the Talia. We'll see what he can do. Seraph's not even built yet for Maple, though he might be recalling for it now.
Yeah. He should be very close. Tier stacks are obviously quite far away, but it shouldn't be too long until we get those to 360. It's not quite the Seraphs, does just pick up that Fiendish Codex.
Yeah, it is unfortunate to see, you know, a game where they've got set up for the Rumble to have the Rumble so far behind now. Is just maybe PTSD ulting these waves after how many times he's been ganked by Junjia trying to shove in a wave.
Yeah, went for the Oblivion Orb this game. I believe he did do that last game as well. Ended up finishing the Morello as his 3rd item. But we'll see how much longer they're able to sort of weather the storm. Honestly, the storm for PSG is just Junjia. There is a gold lead for CFO.
Yeah, and it's such a good Xin game as well. It's unfortunate all the gold is on the Xin that is going to be so difficult to deal with. I mean, I guess the Gragas is a response to the Xin. Just if you can stop him from hitting in fights, his ulti will wear off, and then you can kill him pretty easily with these champs.
PSG, they have tempo, and they're looking for this red buff. As Junjia with the smite.
Helps Junjia make up some of the camp difference that Karsa's just been able to clear a lot. You know, 3 more camps while Junjia gets the ganks, but going to be enjoying a red buff for himself and heading to the Rift Herald. And I guess you fight this if you're CFO, unless you think Tristana can get something done in the side lane. Maple's already killed the wave, though.
Yeah, and Sword Art's down there, so as well as Karsa.
Yeah, so they're maybe looking for a kill on Maple. Sword Art's walked over Vision, though. No sweeper up for him.
Yeah, and Maple's never going to go down. Woody in the area. Woody might even just walk on in.
Yeah, I think if you're Nautilus, you're more willing to get dived and just kill a wave. But at this point, why even give them the satisfaction? It's going to be first tower for Gory.
Yeah, Resh, he's going to get jumped on. Junjia being unrelenting.
Yeah, just has found a weak point on CFO and has just constantly been punishing Rest. Loses his flash again, so more of that to come.
Maple, flash available, but he is playing safe enough. And CFO get themselves 2 towers. 1 is the answer back, and so far, so good for CFO. I mean, it is just Junjia that is really accelerated, and you don't feel the worst. It's better than someone like Talia or Betty having those kills.
Yeah, but Xin might be the best champ here into their comp. So it's a little frustrating that he's picked up so many kills. And Junjie has just been a monster with a lead throughout this whole split.
Yeah.
We don't usually see carries from the jungle, be all that effective, but Junjie has been ridiculous, especially on stuff like the Wukong, the Xin, the Vi. Has so much impact in these team fights. He's running straight at Sword Art.
Yeah, just feeling completely confident.
And
why wouldn't you?
Wonder how many Dark Harvest stacks Karsa has. I think it's 1.
Well, he should have got one on Maple.
Yeah, I think it's just the 1.
Yeah, maybe. maybe Electrocute could have been better.
Yeah, or Phase Rush.
That's not damage.
Yeah, true. All right, Electrocute.
Oh, Hook only just missing. Caster, of course, with the AP build is going to be exceptionally squishy, as you're seeing there.
Rest,
Very
no
trivial,
flash.
the amount of damage coming through, and Rest, yeah, no flash, seismic shove, everything coming through. They are able to pick up 1 kill. Lightning Crash was used, Ghost was used. Shun, he's trying to find the damage. Not able to do so, though. Actually, he keeps his Lightning Crash, but it is just the 1 kill found.
Yeah, looks like it'll be the 3rd Dragon going over to PSG. Again, Rest does have TP, but no ulti now on the Rumble.
Yeah, Explosive Caster is well down. Zeri with the most powerful ult still left available. Magnus Storm can help, but you kind of want to have that equalizer.
Maybe a Hero Steal.
Caster definitely in the area. PSG. I mean, Rest is spawned and he has that teleport. Hook only just missing. No depth charge. Really only Weaver's Wall to speak of. Nice seismic shove though, and Sword Art might be in a world of trouble. Flash forward, crash down, but it's only going to be onto this Nautilus as Maple was able to flash away. Caster gets out, but RJ is in hot pursuit. He's going to be able to maybe find the kill here, and with the Weaver's Wall, they certainly will. It's Dragon and 2. Baron is not alive, so they can't really follow up with much more, but PSG, they have taken all 3 games and ran away with it, and they're trying to look to do it here in game number 3.
Yeah, very familiar scoreline, 1-6, just everything going PSG's way. Dragons, all the kills, Rift Heralds, a couple Void Grubs for CFO. That's about all there is to speak of, and Woody is so tanky at this point in the game. If Rest on this Rumble is not so far behind, he can be a lot more threatening to this front line. But yeah, Woody just tanks him up pretty easily.
Back to live, there's an equalizer coming out, and it looks like we have a flash forward and probably a kill for Gory.
Yeah, it looks like
Rest eventually picking it up, and they should be able to get one more. Or maybe not, as Junjie does arrive. Gory very low, will have to rocket jump and does get himself to safety, but it's going to end up being the 1-for-1 trade. Obviously, it feels good to kill a top laner and only lose your support for it, but it's just more time off the map now for CFO's support.
Got the kill. I guess it was Rest. Might help him get to his Leandries now. Woody is here as well.
Oh. No flash on Rest still.
It's TP.
Well, Caster's here, yeah, teleport here for Gory. Woody Spider-Manning away. Junjie has the ultimate available. Explosive Cast comes out. You're going to have to use that ult, and he will. He's 1 HP. Oh my god, they found the kill onto Woody as Gory jumps through that scattered earth and only just will live to tell the tale. Caster now looking for Maple. Verdant barrier available, and Betty now arriving finally to this fight. Means there is really no way for CFO to continue on forward.
Yeah, they don't get the shutdown on the Xin, but at least they pick up a kill onto Woody at the end there. Aja getting very aggressive here. I think he maybe recognizes the position he's in, trying to protect Maple. The shove not landing onto Gory. Gory, very aggressive flash. I like that. Onto Aja. Kill goes over to Rest, should help him back into this game. And once Junjie gets here, it's already so scary, but Betty to back him up too. And when you're playing these Senna comps, you do want a carry jungler like the Xin. Xin might be the best jungler to pair with the Senna, and he's off to an insane start. And, nicely timed by CFO to actually just find Junjie here. They end up getting his flash here. Very close to killing him. He holds on to his ulti until the absolute last moment. And his flash too. Gory almost goes down.
I'm very surprised Junjie didn't just pop that ultimate a lot earlier.
Yeah, just holding on to it till, you know, 1 auto away from death, and then same with his flash.
PSG getting aggressive. Topside jungle. With those kills, it is now 500 gold, the difference. PSG in favor yet again as they look to seal the deal on this best of 5 in just the 3 games. And
yeah, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely not something we expected. Both very, very capable teams, and both teams again, we said at the beginning of the broadcast, but the two teams we expect to have in our finals. But so far, not looking good for CFO as Explosive Cast comes out, a lot of damage onto Betty, but there is no follow-up now. They do get one. That's Woody going down. Maple, though, constantly throwing these threaded volleys. Dawning Shadow comes out, and Junji is looking for the trade kill, won't find it, and Shun picks up his kill. And the bot side as well, or top side even, Gory picks up one for himself. Maple, he needs one more threaded volley, won't be able to do it. And Shun picks up two, both being shutdowns. Baron maybe on the cards, very low health bars, and teleports are available for at least Arja. Betty, he's going to try and do what he can to stop this, but what really can he do?
No, I think there's nothing to do. Gory can just pick him off so easily.
Will he commit it? 1 second left on this Nautilus.
They're very low, but I don't think a Nautilus showing up even changes anything. Gory should be tanking.
I think it might have changed something, but
okay.
In any case, it's not the end of the world. It is CFO picking up the team fight win, 4-for-0 as Gory gets a kill on the top side and the Baron.
It's Shun playing out of his mind in this fight. Honestly, Karsa just gets one tapped, as you kind of expect an AP Gragas to. And then it's Shun, he finds this play. That was a nice Gragas cast. Actually, almost kills Betty, takes down Woody, and then kites out Junjia and eventually takes him down too. It looked like maybe Junjia could turn this around because Betty survived to support him, but Shun refuses to go down this fight and gets so much damage out. Nice flash to finish off Maple as well. They used 2 flashes to actually kill him. Meanwhile, does Gory just take this Udyr down 100-0? This is the difference this game. Being able to take an ADC solo laner into the Gragas, he has to build Magic as his first item, and then he's so vulnerable to something like the Trist. And PSG banned it in the last game, but they first rotation at this time for CFO.
Hook lands, it's onto Rest. Through comes that depth charge, but through comes Sword Art. Massive ultimate. Equalizer not finding all that much value as Gory's in the back line. He's stunned up, he's going down. Lightning crash, and Shun's wailing. Shun's finding the damage. Caster's going to flash away. That's a 1 HP Gragas who will get himself out of there. Now Woody's going to recall. He has teleport available. There is a jungler for the side of CFO. No jungler on the side of PSG, but Betty once again with immaculate accuracy finds the root, finds the kill onto Shun, and no Rest teleports back. It's a 4v2. Karsa, he's trying to get a bit of health back, just being the Gragas on his jungle camp, but Arja deep within the jungle, not going to allow this Gragas anywhere near the Serpent, and the Serpent shall be picked up. That's a soul for the third game now. PSG, they strike back.
Yeah, just going to be Soul again that CFO have to play against, and a low damage comp from PSG is going to benefit a lot from getting that. And it feels like Shun makes one mistake and the game is very difficult now, as I'm not sure what happens to Gory in this fight. Rest gets hooked and not a great equalizer out of him. Gory jumps in and starts autoing a ward.
Yeah, he couldn't use his damage because of the verdant barrier.
And then just gets autoed by Aja on the Udyr. Terrible fight for Gory. Rest of CFO managed to get out on slivers of HP, and Shun looked like he was going to take over this fight, but no backup for him. And it's unfortunate he went down there, just because I don't think PSG can do the Dragon without their jungler if Shun manages to stay alive there.
Yeah, especially with Rest just teleporting in.
Yeah, but just
a little bit of patience.
Yeah, just overplayed it a little bit and got hit by the Senna W. Betty. Feels like he's just not missing those.
Yeah, 208 now is Betty on the center. Looking fantastic on the Lucian and looking good on the center as well. Definitely providing a lot of damage for his team. Being the support they need. Helping Maple take that kill onto Gory and then following up with that kill onto Shun as well. Great showing. PSG, they are once again pretty even in gold, but with the Soul, the scales are going to be tipped ever so slightly in their favor. Also standing gold in this mid lane with that tower when they are eventually able to get it.
And it feels like just, again, for the third time, we find ourselves in a position where Shun just has to carry. Looking at this comp from CFO, it shouldn't really be like that. He doesn't have any support in this game. It's a full AP Gragas as his jungler, Rel as his support.
Weaver's Wall is going to split up the team. Equalizer going to be used to answer. Rest doesn't want to be giving over this tower if they don't have to. And with that, they are going to make sure nothing really is found off the back of that Talia ultimate. I think importantly, though, the Baron was just for naught. They got the Baron and lost the team fight, and From that point on, couldn't really push an advantage or find even more of an advantage.
Rest buying a blue pot and then losing the fight means he might be stuck on one item this whole game. Maybe he can get to a second.
Maple, huh?
Yeah, he just side lanes so well throughout the mid game. Rarely has been going down in the series, and
there's a hidden gold on everyone around the map. 3 people from CFO trailing his tail.
yeah, on a not very high econ champ, you know, compared to a Tristana.
Tristana only about a K behind. Not
Yeah.
the end of the world. 3 items though is now what Maple's sitting on, and it's very scary to Leah. Got that pin in now.
Yeah.
Safety offered from this Verdant barrier. Of course, there is just a lot of AP.
I really like it. There is a lot of AP for him to block, but also who's breaking Banshees in these fights? It's really difficult to get that Banshees safely off of Maple.
Equalizer will come through. That doesn't pop the Banshees though. And it is this mid lane tower.
Yeah.
Explosive cast comes out, but Jinji is going to answer that. Ult for ult. Team fighting ult in that Rumble being down means a lot of safety for PSG.
Yeah.
Junjia a little bit more vulnerable, but you don't really expect much to happen. 30 seconds on this Baron. 2 minutes 30 on the Elder Dragon.
Yeah, you're pretty happy to trade ults 2 for 1 there as PSG. They also pick up the tower while they're at it. Gold lead in CFO's favor, but if you account for how much gold PSG are just getting from having these dragons.
Yeah, and Senna, I think, is the important part. Yeah, Nautilus is down CS. He doesn't care. He couldn't care less. And Senna's not got much gold, but she's continuing to get souls, and just, you know, as a standalone champion, requires a lot less resources than the Zeri.
Orsa.
Yeah, Casa being looked at. RJ walking forward. Hook lands. That is going to be Sword Art, locked up. Massive Magnet Storm. But there is no follow-up. Equalizer still not off cooldown. Casa, explosive cast. Lands onto 2, but that's the 2 tanks, and you're not finding a whole lot of value. Lightning Crash also used from Shun, and so Zeri, your one massive hope in this game, and no longer with the biggest impact that it can have.
Yeah, Karsa loses his flash as well, so pretty hard to get into this pit to try get any kind of steal.
Yeah, RG going to be guarding. It's pretty hard to kill this Udyr. Has a Randuin's Omen now completed. As it looks like PSG, they're not really that interested in the Baron. They do it very slowly. They're interested in the fight. RG going to pop that Ghost. Shun does answer back with a Ghost of his own. And Junjia, he's kept this Baron aggroed. It's 2.5k HP. Caster's going to find his way in. Nice seismic shaft, Dawning Shadow. He's in the pit, but he's dead. It's going to be Betty picking up that one. Equalizer comes through, but Betty has flash. And down goes Zeri. Your hope in that 80 carry position is no longer. And PSG clean up the fight after picking up the Baron. It's only Sword Art left. 3-0 could be the score as PSG look infallible.
Yeah, just another extremely clean wipe by PSG, and it just looks like they have CFO completely outmatched in terms of team fighting and skirmishing. We'll get a replay on the fight. I mean, Karsa just gets caught out by the Talia shove here. They did have vision on him and catch him out there. He tries to desperately get into the pit. Shun is trying his best, but there's just too much for him to do in these fights. And these equalizers not ever really being able to pair up with the Rel engages. We haven't seen a clean engage from Sword Art all game.
Yeah, we found one in the mid lane, but there was no one to follow him, so he just found a 3-man Magnus Norm, 3-man Crash down for nothing, just goes down.
Yeah, Rest is here, and CFO have a chance now to get this Elder, and the game is back on.
They could look for a steal, but Hook lands. Sword Art's going to be gone. Can't even get the Magnet Storm off as he just gets annihilated. Rest as well. And it is just so easy when you're as clean as PSG. Hook from Woody onto none other than Shun as Gory jumps in to his death. Down will go both these 80 carries. And Casa, you're a big name player, but your 1v5 is Gragas, Baron, Buff, 5 members, PSG. They're on the brink of making themselves the first grand finalist. for the PCS, and him goes down. The Nexus will surely follow. Sword Art has respawned. Rest in 8 seconds. Equalizer available, but Woody cannot miss. Sword Art having to run everything against CFO. We expected a close series, but a close series it was not. PSG are too clean.
Yeah, being pretty nice here, fixing up Rest's KDA, but that should just be the end of the game for PSG, and what a statement this series. If they do end up meeting CFO in the grand finals like we expect, that is a pretty good series to have under your belt if you're PSG. Now, CFO going to go down to the lower bracket and play the winner of Frank versus SoftBank. And, I mean, yeah, we really did expect 5 games tonight, but it just wasn't even close.
3.
Yeah.
We barely got 3. This one, by far, the most competitive. Game number 3.
Yeah, and even then, was it all that competitive?
Well, in theory, I guess, the problem really was that it was competitive, and it should have been, but the Dragons.
Yeah.
3 games in a row. Massive, massive problem. Casa prioritizing those Void Grubs.
Yeah.
Especially in this game, you can see why. You have a Tristana, wants the side lane, Void Grubs, a lot of value. You can give over one of those Dragons. But they gave over 4 Dragons. The game before, 4 Dragons. Both times Infernal Soul. Game number 1, I believe it got to 3 Dragons when the Nexus exploded. But it was just 0 Dragons for CFO this entire series, while PSG were picking up absolutely everything. And again, it's similar to their series against SoftBank. Baron picked up for CFO. All 5 members, I believe, had the Baron. Immediately, PSG find an immaculate team fight. They get 1 kill. They get the Zeri Lightning Crash down. Wait it out. Go back for the fight because Shun was everything for the team of CFO.
Yeah.
As soon as he's gone, it is just so easy. Betty never really felt under threat. I believe he finished that game with 0 deaths on the center.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest game to play center as well.
It's a full AP Gragas.
Full AP Gragas that can just flash on your head at least once in that game. Rumble from follow-up from miles across the map. Even Zeri, on the right circumstances, a good engage coming through from Sword Art, can just dash on your head in one shot. We've seen Zeri's time after time being able to do that, but it was not to be. PSG just looked leaps and bounds better than CFO in the series.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. I mean, the drafts were pretty good for PSG, especially in that very first game, but you can't blame this all on draft.
No.
If you're CFO, you just got outplayed. In those skirmishes and in those team fights especially, PSG just looked untouchable. They were down gold in some of these team fights, especially in this game, and still were just getting clean 4-0s, 5-0s. Everyone surviving on the side of PSG, and CFO just looking uncoordinated. I mean, hooks would land onto CFO, and they would just have 1 member maybe. PSG would have all 5 there ready to follow up, and CFO would just be scattered, still trying to re-engage, throwing a Rumble ult without the setup, and Zeri ult having to come out at inopportune moments.
Yeah, I think an important thing as well is that PSG are one of the few Tristana teams in our league. Them and CFO stick out as the 2 teams that are most willing to pick the Tristana and make it work. So PSG, knowing how to play Tristana, are pretty well aware of what to do against it, and they don't give time to Tristana to be in that side lane. Early on in the game, yes, there was a bit of time. Gory able to pick up 2 towers, but as soon as it gets to these 5v5s around the Dragon, they're not waiting for Gory to start building up pressure in the side lane. Woody is just throwing out a hook. First person he sees, he doesn't care who it is. It could be the Gragas, it could be the Rumble. Honestly, whoever it's landing on is going to die very, very quickly.
Yeah, especially Lich being Gragas.
That's right, they're just getting annihilated. Even Sword Art would get found. You saw in that last fight, tried to turn around and engage, died before the crash down Magnet Storm could even come out. He was already dead by that stage. And all he had to do, hook someone, press ult on Zeri. As long as we've killed someone in that time, it is now favored for us. Gory would teleport down. One fight, he jumped into the back line, only could hit Maple, but Maple had his Banshee shield on, so Gory's never doing damage because he can't throw his abilities at this Talia. To pop that Banshees, you have to land on your head with the rocket jump, fire your ult, or use your highest damage ability in that E. And we're going to see the replay here. And Gory's just not able to do anything.
Yeah, without being able to E either, you can't reset this jump, so once Gory jumps in, he's actually got no vision on the Talia. Doesn't make it into the bush, tries to fight off Maple, but ends up just getting autoed by an Udyr and going down. And once he goes down without returning any damage at all on the Triss, this fight is already so difficult. CFO are lucky that their jungler is still up, but Shun unfortunately gets caught out at the end of that fight and goes down. Top damage for Betty had an amazing series.
Yeah. I mean, everyone on PSG having an amazing series. Junjia, he started dying at the late game fights, but you saw in that fight right there, he was in between his team and the Tristana, taking on 4 people solo as the Zinzal while Tristana was just getting killed. They almost got Casa as well while that happened, as soon as they were able to turn their attention now towards the rest of the side of CFO.
Yeah.
He does go down, but what he gained, the amount of time he gained for Maple, for Betty, for honestly RG as well, to be dealing damage and killing off Gory early on in that fight is just so valuable. Started the game 3-0, truly bridging that gap where you're kind of struggling. Maple is not very strong until at least the Seraphs is online. You know, tier champions, that just tends to be what they're like. But he's bridged that gap phenomenally and really got them to a power point where RG can just sprint in, and as long as Betty's able to hit someone, as long as Maple's able to hit someone, you're feeling really good. Because the resources required for CFO's comp to really get into its own, especially with the full AP Gragas, is so much higher than the resources required for a Senin, Nautilus, a Talia in the mid lane, and then just an Udyr as well as a Zinzal. You need barely any gold to function for that team composition. So despite being down 1.5k gold, it did not matter at all. And a very, very respectable Woody MVP for that.
Yeah,
one.
just landing hooks non-stop all game, just clicking forward, hooking anything he saw, and they had the damage to back him up, especially because they were just catching CFO off guard a lot of the time. Yeah, I mean, what a shocking series.
Yeah.
I cannot believe CFO just got blown out of the water like that. 3-0, no real hope for them in any of the games, it felt like. And I mean, in this game 3 as well, I think the Maple roam up to top just completely broke the game open.
Yeah, and look at that hook. Just Rel can't do anything. Dead before Magnet Storm can come out.
Yeah,
I believe he lands one onto Shun here too at the end. I'm pretty sure in this bush he throws his hook, it lands onto Shun.
Yeah, right. Like through the wall, it looks like.
Just, oh my god.
Yeah, and then Shun has to lose his splash and ulti here.
That was an illegal hook. But
yeah, Nautilus hooks often are, and yeah, Nautilus had been banned this entire series up until this point, and Woody, a great performance on it.
Probably the best Nautilus we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, has a terrible win rate.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only other Nautilus that you ever look to be like, wow, that guy is crazy, is probably Kaiwing, and
he
I don't think that champ
even gets to touch the
that
Nautilus.
champ has not been available for Frank in a very, very long time. But with that series done and dusted, 3-0 for PSG, and I think at this stage, favorites for the split.
Yeah, they managed to take out SoftBank. They've had pretty good record against Frank all year long. They're not too worried about Frank, I wouldn't think. Yeah. And yeah, they've beaten everyone. Just got to win one more series, and they're on their way to MSI, looking very strong.
Yeah. And so CFO as well, of course it's not the last we'll see of them. They do still go down to the lower bracket where, as you said earlier, they'll be taking on the winner of tomorrow's match, which will be between Frank and SoftBank. And I think that could be an exciting series tomorrow as well.
I think it will be.
The level that SoftBank is playing at, I don't even know what it is.
I think they're just playing whatever their opponent's level is.
Yeah,
whether it's our best team, PSG, or our worst team in the playoffs, DCG, they just go to 5. Either way, so it seems like they just play at their opponent's level, and they are very good.
They are. Very good.
Evie in the top lane is an absolute beast.
Evie versus Jung. That's what we have on our hands tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be a great series. If Jung can take down Evie, that would be a massive step for him to solidify himself as our best top laner. Because Aja...
okay. I'm taking RJ. I'm taking RJ.
He'll get to prove it if he takes down Evie.
No, you still have to make it through CFO.
Oh, right.
There's a long way to go till you get to the behemoth that is Arja.
Yeah.
That guy is well above on the top of the pedestal now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's PSG in spring. What else are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do in the upper bracket finals but lose to them? They are going to make it to the grand finals one way or another. And they just fast-tracked it this time.
Yeah, Frank went down 3-0 to CFO.
Yep.
SoftBank looking pretty good. Took PSG to 3, but they also took 5 games. Oh, took PSG to 5. And they also took 5 games to beat DCG. So like you said, I don't know where to put this team.
Neither do I.
I think I have them as favorites over Frank, though.
I think so too. And I guess the reason is, like, I don't put too much weight into the DCG series because DCG are just themselves. It's like
Yeah.
they might not be mechanically as strong as teams, or even like cohesion might not be
they
as
might
strong
not be as coordinated
as teams like PSG or CFO. But you have to deal with draft phase to get through DCG. And I mean, we remember the series that we had on a Thursday. It was 5 very, very illogical drafts, but games done and dusted. PSG win. It's going to be Maple alongside Paddy, and we'll be back right after.
的赛后采访，今天来到赛后采访的是 PSG 的中路选手 Maple， 请 Maple 先跟大家打声招呼吧。
大家好，我是 PSG 的中路 Maple。
Congratulations for the win today and successfully advanced to the PCS finals. How do you feel after the win?
おめでとうございます。勝利を収めて4月7の決勝に進出しました。現在の気持ちはいかがですか？
恭喜你们成功取胜，晋级4月7日的总决赛。赢下来之后心情如何？
就压力小了很多吧，因为其实在赛前大家还蛮不看好我们的嘛，然后我们也不知道自己的状况到底是好还是不好，所以还是挺开心的。
とても嬉しいと思います。はい。プレッシャーは前より減っていたです。いろんな視聴者に見込んだことはないと思いますけど、今日は勝ちました。とても嬉しいと思います。
So before the game today, people don't really think we're going to win, so we have a lot of pressure, but now we have less pressure because we won today. So your whole team is in great condition today. It looks like your team won today's match smoothly. What do you think is the key to winning today's game?
今日は素晴らしい状態で非常にスムーズに勝利を収めたようです。このプレーオフでの勝利の鍵は何だと思いますか？
你们今天的状态非常的好，看起来赢得非常顺利。你觉得这个系列赛的制胜关键是什么？
首先在于我觉得我们的 BP 做的比他们充足吧，然后在选角上。感觉其实3把都是小优势吧，我觉得，而且是我们很擅长的阵容。
バンピックはとても重要だと思います。はい、今日の3試合では僕たちチームのバンピックは相手より優位に立っているようです。
So I think we have more preparations with our ban pick, and all the 3 games we played, we have the advantage over them with the BP, so that's why we won today. So Evie said in previous interview that mid-jungle picks are the key to winning in this patch. Looks like your team's BP today also has some great advantage. Can you tell us about your BP strategy today?
SSG のエビ選手が最近のインタビューで現在のバージョンではミッドレインとジャングルのバンピックが重要だと言いました。PSG の今日のバンピックでも優位に立っているようです。今日のバンピックの考え方を教えてください。
之前 SSG 的 Evie 在采访中说到，现在版本主要看的是中野的选角。你们今天 BP 似乎也占了优势，可以跟我们分享一下你们的 BP 思路吗？
其实就是给俊佳拿一些比较有工具性的打野吧，因为这些也是他比较擅长的，所以我们就可以围绕着他去选，然后靠这样赢下来。
今日のバンピックは主にジンジャー選手にもっと強い攻撃力を持つジャングルを選んだ戦い方を行いましたと思います。
So we let our jungler Jinja to pick more aggressive jungle picks, and we're gonna play around him. So that's how we're winning today's game with the BP. So until now, you have 1 season champion in PCS. Why do you think you can stay as strong and as dominant in the PCS?
メープル選手は自分のキャリアで一度も PCS のチャンピオンを失ったことがありません。なぜメープル选手が PCS でこれほど成功して支配できると思いますか？
到目前为止，你在 PCS 还没有丢掉过任何一个季冠军。你觉得为什么你能够在 PCS 这么成功的制霸呢？
可能平常都有在看女主播开玩笑的。主要是我是打的是中路吧，所以其实。在游戏上，其实中路是占游戏很大的一块部分，然后就可以去主导整个游戏，就是可以照我想要的节奏来打，所以可能就是打了很多年嘛，所以这个节奏也是我比较擅长的。
僕はいつも YouTube を見ました。冗談です。はい。ミッドレイン選手のプレースタイルは勝利の要因と思いますね。僕のプレースタイルはより自由で自分の思い通りのペースを把握できると思います。 だから毎回の勝利に勝ちました。
I think maybe because I watch a lot of YouTube. Just kidding. Because I'm a mid player, and I can control the entire team around me and tell them how to play. And I have a lot more experience, so that's why our team can play around me, and I'm be able to dominate PCS for that long. Now you're waiting on top of the mountain for your contender. Who do you think will become your opponent for the finals?
現在 PSG は決勝進出していますが、残りの3つのチームで誰が PSG の決勝戦の相手になると思いますか？
现在你们在山顶等待挑战者了，你觉得剩下的3队谁会是你们冠军赛的对手？
我觉得 CFO 的几率还是比较高吧，因为我觉得他在输给我们之后，我觉得之后就是会有很大的变化，包括他们的阵容，就是选角上，所以我觉得他们还是比较有机会来到冠亚赛。
CFO の可能性は高いと思います。今日の失敗で多分 CFO もいろんな調整を行う。そして決勝進出に出ると思います。
So I think CFO is going to meet us in the finals because after today's win, they're going to fix up their problems and change their composition. So I look really forward to them meeting us in the finals. Thank you so much for the interview and congratulations for the win. 再次恭喜你们赢得今天的比赛，也感谢 Maple 选手来到今天的赛后采访。我们把镜头转回主播台。
Thank you once again for the interview, and what an absolute slap around that was. Just absolute shellacking.
Yeah, he still thinks CFO. Even after 3-0ing CFO, going to 5 against SoftBank, he just has faith in the CFO boys, his former teammates.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I also do believe CFO are going to come back. You know, PSG lost to DCG, and here we are. First grand finalists, look like clear favourites at this stage. I mean, it's rough to say it based on one series, but they are now up an extra series against CFO. The head-to-head in terms of wins is well above now. And I don't know, this PSG team, they are looking very, very scary.
Yeah, CFO on the other hand, really only Shun, right? Kind of performing in these
he played
games. Well. Karsa got a gank or 2 off, it felt like, in the entire series.
Yeah, the solo lane's just dying, just on repeat. Obviously, today's results, you need no introduction. All 3 games happened about 30 minutes ago. So it was a pretty quick and decisive 3-0, and you see it in your bracket there now. CFO, wait for the result of tomorrow's game to go up against them on Saturday next week. And on Sunday next week, our grand final, which already has PSG comfortably sitting there. They're feeling good. They are now 1 series away from claiming another spring championship, their 3rd consecutive championship of the PCS, and it will be their next MSI appearance if they are able to win it all. So there is a week to wait to see that, and before we even get to that week, we still have another game this week.
Yeah, tomorrow, and usually in for a long haul with the SoftBank games.
Yeah, the SoftBank boys, they keep us here.
Yeah.
They're always exciting games, though. They're kind of like a DCG light, where their drafts get a bit wacky.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to get when I'm watching a SoftBank draft. Versus a team like Frank, who we can call pretty much every pick from 1 through 5.
Yeah, they are very standard.
Including their bans.
Yeah.
We know what Frank are just going to play. We know how they're going to play most of the time, too. Versus SoftBank, who knows? It could be Yasuo.
Could be Yasuo.
For their support.
Could
Vista.
be the Camille that Vista's been spamming in solo queue.
Uh-oh.
Rek'Sai, of course. That's a pick that's opened up for them. I do feel like a player like Jung probably would like the Rek'Sai. You know, he likes carries, and you can get things like an Aurelia. I could see Aurelia doing fairly decently into the Rek'Sai, just like maybe really sucks early on.
Yeah, you can
get Blade of the Ruined King.
You can get your Q interrupted, I think.
Yeah, but if you get Blade of the Ruined King, you don't even need that ability anymore.
Yeah.
You just sit there whacking him.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. No one's played the Rek'Sai in this series.
Yeah, no one.
So maybe we'll see it tomorrow.
Didn't even get banned. It just was absent. It was absent. And so was CFO, really. But they still got another chance. It is not all over for them. But more importantly, tomorrow, SoftBank versus Frank. I hope you enjoyed tonight's games. I know we sure did. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Now we're running out of time.